because their back six haven't been placed under the pressure that others have.
Yeah.
They haven't had the form lines when you look at Harley and you look at Milburn and those sorts of guys individually, but as a unit, they come together very well. It's not the method that saves them, it's more the talent. And I think that's an interesting look at both defences, but it's the forward line's ability to put pressure on for St Kilda that's going to be the game today. If they can get the ball turned over and score easily from that, especially early, they can't, and the Cats get going, could be all over.
In round 14, St Kilda scored 10 goals 5 from turnovers versus 5 goals 4 from Geelong. So they doubled base of their score from turnovers. Their tackling pressure was immense. They were able to create scores from where Geelong were trying to begin their run and carry across their halfback, the Cats half-back line, where they're trying to take some risks to break the game open. St Kilda were able to pressure enough, especially early in the game when they got to that lead, to turn the ball over and create scores. But the arm wrestle was going to be the run and carry at Geelong versus the stifling pressure of St Kilda, because if Geelong get it down there quick, the Saints defenders will be under pressure, and I'd expect that Geelong will score.
So the St Kilda side leave the dressing sheds to make their way up the ramp and to enter the arena on the right half forward flank at the city end of the stadium at the members' side. 1966 they were victorious. In 1971 they lost against Hawthorn. In 1997 they lost against the Adelaide Crows. Now Nick Revolt, followed by leaping Lenny Hayes, come onto the stadium, and this is what it's all about. There's a lot of nervous energy that has to be just gotten rid of right now as Revolt takes Gardner towards that particular banner that says St Kilda 209, truly magical, and that can only happen if St Kilda are victorious tonight. So a lot of nervous energy needs to be just out of the system now, because they say it's just another day. Well, it's not. But it should be just what you've been doing all year.
It's another focus, Rex. It's no doubt they've got to do the things that they've done all year. But this is another day. This is life-changing. To become a premiership player or a dual premiership player is life-changing for these players. They know what's at stake, but they've got to put that aside. They've got to worry about the little things. They've got to get themselves into the game somehow, whether it's a tackle, a chase, not necessarily a possession. Just get themselves through that first, third, fourth, fifth, sixth effort.
Well, I've always thought there's 18 opponents out there. There's only one ball. So if you're waiting to actually pick up the ball to get into the game, you've got your odds wrong. There's 18 blokes there that you can run into in the opposition side if you feel like you want to get involved in the game.
I think that's an important thing you bring up. Every player's got a turning on point now, whether it's, try and get the ball early, get it in your hands, get physical, maybe not stupid physicality, or even verbalise. You have to have something that turns you on in the game if something doesn't work, and you've got to fall back on that. These players hopefully have been drilled well enough to know, that's what gets me in the game individually. I've got to get that right to make sure I have an impact for my team.
The start's critical here today. I mean, I think if the Cats can get going early, she might be all over at the end of the first quarter, but the Saints, they started poorly last week and were very, very lucky to be still in the game and still make this grand final. So they need to make every post a winner early and assert themselves on Geelong, not just wait and see what Geelong are going to throw at them. It's theirs to make.
Well, as we speak, the sun's beaming down on the MCG, and it looks like a fantastic stadium, fantastic conditions. There are dark skies on the horizon, and they will continue to float over. So there's going to be ebbs and flows in the games. There's going to be ups and downs. It's going to be slippery at times, and it's going to look fine at times. There's going to be momentum shifts. We all know this. All of the players know this. All of the coaching staff know this. The thing that's interesting to me is you were saying that this is a life-changing moment, no doubt. But if you're just thinking about the result, you're not going to get the job done.
No.
As you said, break it down. And this is what these two... Geelong have had the experience of doing it. St Kilda have done it exceptionally well throughout the year. As they've won more and more and more, the pressure has been on more and more and more about the result, because the focus from outside has always been about the result. So they have had exposure to this situation. They have had exposure to being results-orientated, or the external aspects of the football media being results-orientated. orientated. But the St Kilda have been able to buff it to this point and concentrate on the things they can control, and they've done that very well.
Kingy, is there in the midfield, it's the feeling, and this is my feeling, that maybe Geelong go a bit deeper in talent, as in, good, hard talent, and maybe in 2 or 3 more numbers than what maybe the Saints do. Do you agree with that or disagree with that,
Yeah, both sides are ranked 1 and tested ball, which has been the number 1 indicator across the game for, I reckon, as long as the game's been in functioning. But, look, I don't think you can worry too much about the individual numbers and the individual possession rates. I think it's, as Nathan said before, it's as a collective unit. It's often the damage that's associated with what you do with those numbers. I mean, straight clearances don't really mean a lot, but clearances that then go on the scoreboard, the real damaging ones, which the Saints have been able to do and the Cats have been able to do all year, is the key. Whoever can get their game going first will win this game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Even those clearances, and if they're good, you're right, scoring assist or getting the ball to score from the clearances. So if you've got another 2 or 3 players you think are a bit more talented but just as tough, maybe it just gives you a little bit more momentum in that area.
Just looking at on the ground, and like there's 44 players out there. Most of them are getting a touch of the footy. I just saw Stephen Baker do about 3 50-metre sprints, and you think of a bloke like he doesn't have to touch the ball to do his job today. And he knows this is what St Kilda have been very good at throughout the year. They know their roles. They know what they're accountable for, and they know that what they do well, that's what they're being asked to do. Stephen Baker's going to lock down on someone. It'll probably be a Varco or a Burns.
Chapman?
Well, no, I reckon
worried about in the air?
Chapman, Johnson will probably be Fisher and Gilbert. If
Dempster will be Johnson.
Dempster to Johnson. I'm worried about that selection. I'm really worried about that selection.
I'm not worried about Dempster playing. Are you saying that
I'm worried about Dempster playing as a halfback flanker.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I don't think... I played on him a few times. He may have developed in the last couple of years. He gets lost at times. And if you're playing against a guy like Stevie Johnson and you get lost, you're going to get hurt.
It's going to be a game of errors. There's going to be mistakes made out there, and it's who makes the least mistakes or who makes them in better areas. If you make a mistake down back today, she could cover.
So this here's 3RW Football. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's acknowledge our people from 5AA and 6PR across the Nullarbor, right up the east coast, the River Murray, the Riverland, right through the Wimmera Mallee, where they've had record rains in the last fortnight, and those people who rely on the land are just smiling again after such devastating years. Well, there's going to be one side who is going to be devastated here tonight. That's unless it's a draw. The dark clouds are forming over the top of the scoreboard on the left forward pocket at the city end, and a man with a television camera is perched precariously right on top, and a good wind would blow him away, but let's hope that that is not the case. Graham Bond for Europcar has been magnificent all year, and before we join these particular sides together and we get the coin toss, Graham has got a little bit of the history of these two clubs.
Well, Rex, interesting, 202 times they've played, 122 wins to Geelong, 80 wins to St Kilda. They've never ever played a draw, these two sides. A lot of people are suggesting that is on the cards today simply because of the closeness of them this year. Just that one game to go on, the 6-point win by the Saints, but over the last 5 years it's been hard to split as well. Geelong hold just a 2-game advantage, but in finals they've only ever met on 3 occasions. Geelong have won all of those matches, the last one being last year early in the final series. The best two sides in the season this year scoring from clearances. St Kilda number 1, Geelong number 2. St Kilda the best side in the competition for starts. They've won 17 first quarters this season, the most of any side. However, they have struggled in their last 7 matches, winning just 3 of them. So they've gone off the boil in that area. The Cats, of course, they've won 5 of the 6 games decided by less than 10 points this season. The best record of any side, so you expect if it's going to be close, apart from that one they lost to the Saints, both sides will be right in the action right till the final siren, and thanks to Europcar, great supporters of 3AW and the stats again this season as we prepare for the national anthem.
And Craig Willis, the master of ceremonies, has called the people together, the umpires, and both St Kilda and Geelong are there. And the cast from Jersey Boys, these four magnificent young men who have forged a career on stage and possibly screen, they will sing the national anthem. And thank you very much, as we are now going down in 1 minute to join Craig, although some television commitments are preventing that at the moment. Let me just tell you again that the breeze is coming from the northwest, and there is a big cloud coming over from what I would appear to be Williamstown and Werribee over the top of this stadium, as Craig Willis now has us now.
Stand as we welcome the stars of the hit musical Jersey Boys: Stephen May, Bobby Fox, Scott Johnson and Glaston Toft to sing the Australian National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair in joyful strains, and let us sing advance Australia fair.
Magnificent rendition of the national anthem. No music, just wonderful, wonderful voices. That was magnificent, boys. Now get off, because St Kilda take on Geelong. The umpire's shaking everyone by the hand. Get in the middle and bounce the ball, because after today there's no tomorrow for one side.
Exactly right. Complete devastation for an outfit today. We don't know who that's going to be yet, but that's the greatest prize. That's why we play the game. This is everything. Everything points to this moment. The first bounce of this game is just such an iconic moment in our game, and I can't wait for it to start. I reckon I've been waiting for this for about, sure, these two have been clearly the two best sides, clearly, and they're strong in the same areas. It's going to be a brutal physical game.
I just wonder how brutal will it get? Will we see someone go outside the norm and even set the scene early, where you might think of giving a free kick away early? I don't think that's the way to go, and I think Bomber Thompson said it during the week that, all right, you go in hard and you hit the ball hard, and I'm not saying, Dennis, that you take people out, but you've got to make a
saying that.
You know, I reckon, you know,
a good Shaw will do that.
It sounded like it, Rex.
I reckon it's more likely that someone like Joel Selwood from one end and Lenny Hayes from the other
just go bang,
will smack heads and knock each other out, because these teams are good because they hunt the ball, because they're prepared to win the hard ball and put their head over it and get hit, not be the hit-ease. They want to be the ones to go to the ball.
So,
I think this is a very fair two teams. It'll be a very fair contest, but you're right, Kingy, it'll be hard.
So Tom Harley shakes Revolt by the hand. Tom Harley wins it. Geelong to kick to the city end, or the right of your radio dial, and we are but moments away from the most anticipated bounce in a grand final for quite some time.
Well, the whole week, a lot of it's been talking about Zach Dawson and Max Hutchison. Should he have been allowed to play? I don't think they had to change the mix. I think they will have problems if Ottens goes forward and you've got Hawkins, Mooney and Ottens. But, gee, you want to mark the ball during that period of time. The other thing, though, it might bring the ball to front and centre a lot more. Snyder and Milne, they've got to lift. Those two players have to lift, not just goal kicking, but their defensive work has to lift inside 50 to help that pressure kicking.
Well, they have to be a target. They only took 6 marks inside 50 against the Dogs, the Saints, and you just can't rely on just Kaczynski and just Rewald doing that. You need to have more contributors than that. That's why I've got a sneaking suspicion Goddard will start forward. I hope he does, and we'll know in a moment.
Well, you might be right, because it looks like Goddard hasn't moved from the 50. He's just moving up now. No doubt Rewalt and Kaczynski are there. They're running from the 50. Oh, Nick Rewald. Kaczynski's got a big role. If Scarlett goes to him, he had the better of Scarlett last time. Pushed up the ground, took a lot of marks outside 50. Very reminiscent of what Anthony Rocker did to Matty Scarlett Bucks in a final a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and that is an important role. You can see Scarlett's going to run straight past Rewald here to Kaczynski. Geelong with the confidence in their defensive key position players to get the job done. Between the two of them, Rewald Kaczynski took 22 marks and kicked 5 goals in the round 14 match. Kaczynski was very good dragging Scarlett up the field. Scarlett only had the 7 touches. On that performance, you couldn't think that St Kilda could have had it any better, and that Geelong would be benefited by knowing exactly what those strategies are, and they're going to go for it.
Scott Cummings, you're on the left half forward flank. We are but 4 5-minute warnings away from finding a winner today.
Yeah, it's going to be magnificent, Rex. Absolutely, both teams looking cherry ripe, as you'd imagine. Matchups all around, as the boys have said. The crowd is going absolutely nuts. I reckon the Saints just might get the chocolate.
Sure, he was onto something. Stephen Baker has gone to Stephen Johnson.
So, Brett Roseberry umpiring his first grand final. He puts the air conveyance up in his left arm. The crowd roar. The bloke presses the button. The siren went and the umpire put this 2009 grand final into operation. Otten's knocked it out. Throw a blanket over 10 players in the centre of the ground, and Roseberry came back in straight away and said, I'm going to put it down again in the centre of the ground.
Couple of matchups. Gilbert to Chapman. Rook and Fisher going head-to-head. Raphael Clark on Burns.
So it is Gardner against Ottens. The ball to Corey Enright. Here comes Ablett running on Goddard. Ablett on the centre wing. Taken over there by Schneider. Play outside the umpire. Harley knocked it on. Got it over to Corey Enright, who came back in towards the half-forward line as marked by Wojcinski. He played on. Got it off to Ablett. Ablett kicked a long ball to half-forward down inside 50. Diving on it is Zach Dawson. Here comes a tomahawk. He fell over. Picked up over there and went out towards the half-forward line. Stevie J got one high. Went off the half-back line. The Saints through Hayes. Got it across over there towards Clark. Oh, Chapman was taken and will take a free kick. Midway left wing, left half forward. Great Southern stand side. Goes bang in towards centre half forward.
Long kick, they'll compete in the pocket, deep in the pocket, no contest. Drifting back, the mark is taken by Dawson of St Kilda. Hand passes to Goddard. Goddard across the face of goal. It bounces outside the 50 and goes out of bounds in front of the pursuing Montagna.
Good settler for Dawson early in the match to take that mark. One thing that we've seen already, we say keep your feet, but they're going that contest where the bodies are hitting each other and they're flying around like 10 pins.
The sky, the colour of a bad corky at the moment. Boundary throw in just outside the 50. In front is Otten's got a hand to it, knocked it down. Chance for Hayes, taken high. Hayes will get a free kick at left half back. Rex Hunt on 3AW.
And in light drizzling rain, Hayes picks himself up on the left half back flank on the members' side. Lenny Hayes done so wonderfully well during the year.
2 touches, 2 contested possessions.
So Hayes came in towards half back and he's got it out to Clark. Raphael Clark got a heavily bandaged right calf and he plays on. He better hurry up. Rook's got him on the ball. And the umpire said yes, no advantage played. And it's going to be Rook who snuck up on him like one of Shorey's silent ones. And he went bang.
He was just ambling out of the defensive 50. This is a grand final, son. Get yourself going. Go at full speed. You can't hover on an exit like that.
So Rook keen to go on. Close to the man on the mark. Kicks a long goal. A long goal outside 50. For Geelong, first blood on the Mitsubishi Electric scoreboard. Magnificent Geelong a goal. Through Rook, St Kilda yet to score.
Well, that's why he's down there for defensive pressure, Bucks. But it's important now that the St Kilda leaders get to Raph Clark because they can't afford to lose him for the day.
Correct.
They need to get there for some emotional assistance.
As the drizzle comes in, and that's the errors that we were talking about.
Yeah.
The errors that the bottom 5 or 6 are going to make are going to test you more than anything else. And Rook may well be one of those bottom 5 or 6, but geez, how good is he? He contributes defensively, and a goal from 55 in these conditions, what a great start for the Cats.
That's his job. That's exactly what he's in the side for.
Well, I reckon I could have caught him, but I couldn't have kicked the goal. Ball thrown up in the centre. Rucks go out, and Ottens knocks it down. Almost stolen there by Hayes. Left the ball behind, and the umpire will do it again. So Raph Clark. Oh, well.
No, he's called it, pulled the ball in.
Holding the ball. Wow, St Kilda get a free kick. It'll be taken by Ball, who plays on immediately. Hand passes to Montagna. Montagna is searching. Kick inside the forward 50. Big pack. Off hands. Taken by Mackey. He bursts away from defence. Probing kick through centre field. Off hands. It falls to Chapman. Chapman slips a hand pass away to Burns. Geelong on the march. Kicks inside the forward 50. Baker goes back with Johnson. Baker gets it out of bounds. Throw it in, says the umpire. Rexy, throw it in.
Who's he handball to, Rex?
It makes a mockery out of it, Geesh. Goodness me, it makes a mockery out of it. Oh, it's a grand final. Yeah, but the rules are the rules. The ball spinning back into play. Otten's got it down, looking for Stevie J. Del Santo couldn't stop Chapman. Getting it to Joel Corey, who got it to Bartel. Here comes Kelly. Kelly on the left half forward, flank to half forward over the head of Mooney. The big hairy cat runs with Sam Fisher. Sam Fisher, the big hairy cat, it went out to Jason Graham. Tackled by Rook. Oh, beautiful boom crash offer there. It went out. Zach Dawson got it off the Graham down onto the centre wing. And here comes Kaczynski marking.
Kaczynski looks at Revolt, ignores the lead. He was clear. Long kick down towards half forward. Still 2-on-1 for the Saints. Misjudged by Wojcinski, marked by Gardner. Missing the football was Montagna. Pushed as he went to kick. Loose ball about 30 metres out. And we'll have a bounce.
I'm going to tell you, I know the flags are absolutely flying from the city end to the punt road end, but the actual inside these stands, the wind is favouring Geelong by a mile.
It's the grand final at the MCG. After the bounce, Bill's wide. McWalter falling to the ground. A hand pass to Graham. Tackled. Hacked out of midair by Mackey. Got about 50 metres on the ball. Sent it up towards the wing. Strong work on Hawkins. Put him out of the contest. Raph Clark, much maligned. A chance to redemption. There, right. Got a hand pass across to run. It's kicked down towards half forward. Revolt gets on the end of it. They were surging past Raph Clark and got him out of a jam.
So the skipper, Revolt, goes to Kaczynski, got a push. No, he didn't. The umpire, yes, the umpire. The other umpire said, McBurney said play on. Brett Roseberry said he got a push. I called it because I was on the same side as Roseberry. Yeah. And Kaczynski's going to line it up from 47 metres out.
They've been a presence early, these big boys. They're working their backsides off. They need the smalls to do the same. There are crumbs on the offing here, and they're not capitalising.
Geelong first blood to Rook. This is a most important kick for you, Justin Kaczynski. We've just said how much you've promised, and now you've got to deliver, because this is the moment. He comes through 60 to 55. He kicks a long ball. It's off the side of the boot and out of play on the full. Goodness gracious me. Mistakes will be made, but goals like that have to be kicked.
Got to say, too, his record not convincing against Geelong. Just 12 goals, or rather 10 goals in 12 matches. As the ball goes to the outer side, they need him this afternoon. Raph Clark, aided by a teammate in Montagna. Terrible hand pass by Clark, and that's a telling sign.
Yeah, you're right, Dennis. You're right. They're going to get over to Raph Clark now and say, just play a straight bat. Even if you kick it down the line long, don't make short mistakes. Make them with a bit of distance.
Yes, he hand passed to Montagna, and a man was standing alongside Montagna. After the boundary throw in, Bartel hit the deck, taken away by Hayes, kicks inside the forward 50. Mackey was up to knock it down. Chance for Geelong as the ball spills wide, taken by the brilliant Scarlett. Scarlett, a looping hand pass, accommodates the run of Kelly, storms to the wing, kicks inside the forward 50. Mooney was up, and Mooney has taken the juggled mark, 35 metres out. Now, if he's on target this afternoon,
have a shot.
He'll go back.
He has to have the shot. This is a big moment, this. These set shots at goal are going to decide momentum constantly throughout the day. They missed another crumb inside the forward 50 there, the Saints. McWalter overran the ball, and the Cats on counter-attack, dynamic.
Massive kick for Mooney as a forward. Just doesn't need to kick it too hard. Just kick it smoothly and kick through it.
He's kicked at least one goal in their last 8 games. I think the last 9 games. Can Mooney splits the centre from long range? And Geelong have stolen a march. They're up by 2 goals. goals from the Mitsubishi Electric scoreboard. Catch 2 straight. Saints yet to score.
Now, you said it, David King, and I asked you, Bucks. Milne was started on the bench. I think he's a player who needs the moment. You know, we know he can kick goals quickly. I reckon he's got to get out there and be a small forward. At the moment, Dempster's playing across half forward. He doesn't kick goals.
No, and Dempster's there as obviously trying to prevent Mackey's run.
Well,
but Geelong are too good. Geelong are too good at doing that. The way to beat their defence is to make them to defend, not to try and stop them attacking. You've actually got to make them defend. Put your most dangerous 6 forwards up there and make them have to defend, and then that'll stop their run.
The umpire threw the ball, and this is Rockling. He had it one-handed and dropped it. Goodness me. The umpire said play on, and Del Santo went towards centre half forward, and here comes Revolt. The crumb is there for Mackey if he wants it. Geelong out on the left half back flank, got it to young Selwood. Selwood's got it in front of Graham, and he hand passed it out to Harley, who's in a bit of trouble, but he broke the tackle on Montana. Corey Enright dropped it, picked up by Leonard Hayes. Lenny Hayes did it well, sold the dummy, took a bounce, fell over, wearing rubbers. Montana kicked a long ball to Revolt. Harry Taylor's up. He interfered with him, but not illegally. This is Kelly. Kelly now hand passed it off. It went out to McQualter. McQualter got a hand pass off. Snyder has missed it behind the stick. You've got to take your opportunities when they come.
He relaxed, didn't he?
You can't be having a beer tomorrow and say what if, because what ifs don't matter in the grand final. St Kilda a point, Geelong are 2 goals.
And how good a play from McWalter. You're talking about overrunning a crumb before. That was a hard ball get, a fantastic bit of play to set Snyder up, and really that's a 9 out of 10 that he's just missed.
Bartel drives it towards the outer side wing after a short pass in, and the ball skids out of bounds.
You've got to kick that.
Coming off the ground now too. Absolutely straight off the ground. Stephen Milne coming on.
They're doing everything wrong here, but they're still in this game. They run and carry, but Hayes is the one. Hayes is the one again today.
Schneider, a premiership player with Sydney, a 2005 boundary throw in. Hayes, third man up, taps it down in front. Putting the body in was Enright. Spills across towards Chapman. Hand passes looking for Enright. He's tackled immediately by Baker and slung across the boundary line. We'll have a throw in front of that sea of faces in the Great Southern Stand.
After Hayes went third man up, then Bartel's trying to squeeze up on him. Now Bartel just went and hunted the ball. Hayes was 20 metres on his own in the corridor. Now Geelong, they're not paying enough attention to Hayes at the moment. They're not sitting on him. Link's going to Del Santo, but Hayes is getting away.
The ball spinning back into play. Bartel try to get it to Varco. The ball spills clear. This is Graham. Graham onto the centre wing. Milne went up. Can't do it. Punched away by Kelly. Now Milne going over the top. Varco couldn't get it either. Joe Montana of St Kilda gets it to Goddard, who tapped it on towards King. He kicked it into the man on the mark and knocked on by Lenny Hayes out to Joe Montana. Now St Kilda looking to go forward. Revolt leads, and there's a long kick down to both he and Cozzy. Revolt can't. McQualter did. Got it off towards Milne. Milne of St Kilda to half forward Mackey. Mackey read it beautifully. That's what it's all about. This kid with a baby face has got an old football head.
They're going to make that change, I reckon. You've got to go take Dempster away from Mackey. I'm with Nathan Buckley. Get someone on him dangerous who might score.
Dempster has got his problems as the short one comes across to Ling. He hand passes to Kelly. Kelly bounces one through midfield. It's picked up by Selwood. Hand passes to Johnson. In goes Del Santo of St Kilda. Comes across towards Ablett. He's taken a ground. It's tough in there.
It is.
And the ball is not coming out.
Great call, Dan. It is tough in there. This is a battle of collisions. There's no doubt about that. If that ball hangs in the air one moment, you just get smashed 3 or 4 tackles.
But you see what Geelong have been able to do. They've been able to move the ball forward 100 metres because of their risk taking and their run and carry. Even though St Kilda have been able to tackle, they stopped them 100 metres away from where the ball started.
Ling hanging on to Del Santo at the bounce. Del Santo gets the free kick back into the centre square. Chips out wide, looking to create some run. Fisher thought about it, has to hesitate though, comes back towards the middle. Baker's got it now. Nobody near him, should just take off up the ground. Baker decides to do that rather reluctantly. Puts it on the deck. Baker goes for distance then inside the forward 50. They come from all directions. But the only man that had conviction in his approach to the football was Goddard, and he's marked 40 metres out directly in front.
You'll get a good gauge of the wind here, boys. He's a beautiful kick of the ball, this boy. I think he needs to play forward of centre. They need another target down there. They're not winning the crumbs at the moment, so they might as well get another marking option down there.
Goddard went down there. Mackey would be the one that would have to go to him.
Yeah, kick. Makes it a harder matchup.
So Goddard deliberately on its way, rides on the breeze, rides truly. Saints with their first goal of the afternoon, and suddenly the margin at less than a goal on the Mitsubishi Electric scoreboard. Kilda 1-1 in the grand final. Geelong are 2 straight.
I tell you what happened then, Kingy. Wojcinski started on Goddard on the wing. Now, you'd have to push him forward on Wojcinski anyway if you can, because he's outmarking. But what happened? Wojcinski manned the mark. Gary Ablett, and you can see him man the mark, he did not get goal side of Brendan Goddard. If you're a very good offensive player, I don't care how good you are, you need to do your defensive role at the same time when you're called upon.
Hayes and Montagna having a break for the Saints. In the guts now is Ball, King, Jones and Del Sano.
So Geelong at 2 straight goals, 12. St Kilda 1-1-7. Light rain falling at the MCG. So the umpire Sean Ryan throws it in the air, and King beat his former teammate Blake. It went out the ball, who was grabbed. Ablett now got a hand pass across to Milburn, who brought it across his body to half forward. It'll clear over there, Rook, but coming in there trying to get it going was Ray. He couldn't, but now it's going to be little boy Burns. He's on his left boot. It's his favoured one, but he's now holding the ball, surely. What a marvellous tackle by young Ball. And Luke Ball now has got the free possession on the right half-back flank in front of the Great Southern Stand. Will come back inside 50. And defensive now marking is Gilbert. Play on, said the umpire, in a bit of trouble. Broke the tackle on Wojcinski. Got a little kick back to Ball at centre half-back at the city end. And Ball said, we better do it better this time.
St Kilda been the best tempo side with the ball in their hands in the back half. Geelong are going man on man. They're forcing St Kilda to go longer with their disposals and create contests. Now that's actually working for St Kilda, because they don't mind running forward, kicking 50-60 metre kicks to a contested target if they can find it forward of the ball.
So Geelong lead by 5 points, and now Revolt got a little bit of a lead there from Graham. He couldn't take it. The ball spills clear, picked up by Goddard, kicked a long ball towards Kaczynski, punched away by Scarlett. Now this is Blake, got a hand pass to Milburn, got a hand pass to Kelly, did well. This is Yablett off the half-back line. The Brownlow medalist did it well, kicked it towards Mackey, but it bounced into the arms of Joel Corey. Kicked a long ball down towards Varco. Varco and Xavier Clark running onto it. Otten's got one in the back. They've got one in the back. The umpire said play on, and Sean Ryan will bounce it right half forward flank on the members' side at the city end. We've ticked over into the 16th minute of play in the first term of the grand final. Geelong 2 goals, St Kilda 1-1-7.
Gardner taps it down, taken by Blake. A hand pass comes across from Montagna. Fisher kicks a bad looking kick. It bounces up short of the wing and is knocked across the boundary line. Bad looking but effective. It wasn't the worst thing to do. There was no man free on the wing, so a boundary throw in down at right half forward now.
Hayes and Montagna back on, Del Sano and Goddard off. Chapman back on for the Cats.
Geelong going to the city end. They lead by 5 points. Blake got a hand to it, knocked it down in front. Sliding in was Selwood, kept the ball alive. Hayes has been terrific. Hand passes to Graham. Graham the high ball towards the wing. Revolt. Oh, he landed hard. That really hurt. He landed flat on his back. He flew over the pack. It spun him out of balance. And now the trainers are with Nick Revolt. And this is the biggest story of the afternoon so far.
He's up, Dan. He's up. Landed flat on his back. Would have knocked the wind out of him, but straight back onto his feet. Listen to the crowd.
What a leader. What a leader. Spinning back into play. Gardner right over the top. Got it, but it went to Milburn. Milburn got it across to Chapman. The Brick Scheisenhausen Chapman got it to Harley, the skipper. It was kicked off the boot. This is Milburn towards Chapman. Chapman's been pushed in the back by Milne, who has to lift. In a moment, we'll go to Graham Bond with some of the stats. A bit of a pattern coming as Chapman got a lead out there. Joel Corey, he leads on the centre wing in front of Joe Montana, and now Corey kicked a long ball rook. He dived on the football. It's conditions down there, the muddiest we've seen for years, and Graham Bond for Europe car.
Well, a couple of great contested players, 7 disposals, 6 contested to Chapman, and 5 contested ball out of 5 possessions, Lenny Hayes.
Right half forward, the Cats lead by 5 points, and right over the top of the ball, Bartel knocked on by Ablett to Joel Selwood, broke the tackle, lined it up, and has kicked a magnificent goal!
What a goal!
That is a magnificent Clyde Peters goal of the day. Just when everyone thought Selwood was gone, he just mustered together something. Courage, will, just determination, and he's kicked Geelong's 3rd goal. They go to 3 goals straight, 18. St Kilda 117. Mitsubishi Electric scoreboard a magnificent. Selwood's goal was magnificent.
The quality of that goal is directly proportionate to the quality of the tackler that he just busted. Now, Clinton Jones is in the side because of his defensive pressure and his tackling ability. He stood up in a tackle that not many people in the competition would be able to stand up in, burst through it, and was able to finish from 40. That was a fantastic effort.
Umpire McBurney throws it up. Gardner was very high, staying on the ground. Ottens, it fell wedged between the pair. We'll have another ball up.
People just don't realise how good that was, Kingy. You know, like to keep your balance, and then the finish. That's the thing, to finish off. You're that tired from the contest. Magnificent.
Had to judge the breeze too. Shades of Ron Barassi and, dare we say it, Humphrey Bogart. Just wonderful stuff. A tough guy piece of work.
What about the tough work from Nick Riewoldt? To still be out there as a leader, to stand after that clash before.
Knocked down by Gardner, taken by Hayes, ricochets off Ablett, on his knees Ray, hand passes back towards Baker, St Kilda control the football. Dawson found a gap, kicks it up towards the wing, hangs a long time in the air. Riewoldt leads back in the race. This will test him. Well, he hand passes to Mackie. Not sure he passed the test. Mackie knocks the ball towards the boundary line. It's out of bounds. We'll have a throw in. Very grey now. The breeze is freshening, and one senses the weather is not far away.
Well, it's certainly not as nice. Drizzle comes down. Nice for the Gardens. The ball came out to Bartel, and don't argue. And it's going to be Nick Del Santo to take the kick on the right half forward flank at the punt right into the station. I just suspect this may be beyond him, this distance.
Oh, gee whiz.
Definitely beyond him.
Yeah, it just hit him on the jaw, just on the chin, and that's why you get a free kick. Wasn't a lot in it, though.
So Del Santo kicks it towards Hayes, and Hayes has marked it. Selwood couldn't get his fingernail to it, and Lenny Hayes has got a chance to kick St Kilda's 2nd. The man on the mark is Joel Selwood. He is 40 1/3 metres out from goal at the punt road end. Directly in front is Hayes. Through 50, through 47, 45, and from 44 metres he's kicked a goal! A goal to Lenny Hayes! And St Kilda come back with their 2nd goal on the Mitsubishi Electric scoreboard. The Saints go to 2-1-13. Geelong are 3 straight 18. It's Geelong by 5 points in an absolute corker.
Well, that was a defensive breakdown by Geelong. Hayes was able, and as I said, he's been able to float around on his own. He's had Corey and Bartel, but they're hunting the ball. They're deciding that, look, when the ball's in dispute, we're going to go and hunt it. We're going to go and outnumber. Now, Lenny Hayes is smart enough to know when to get involved there and when to get into space.
They need contributors marking the ball inside 50. It can't be Kaczynski and Riewoldt at all times, and that's only their 2nd mark inside 50. They're not winning the crumb, so they need to either mark it or get more crumbing pressure on the Cats.
Tossed up back in the middle, tapped down by King, taken by Ablett, a hand pass wide. Hayes is playing an absolute corker. Went and found the football. Hand pass to Ray, hand pass to Jones. Back it comes to Hayes. Goes down towards half forward. Just get the feeling the Saints are hitting their stride now. And certainly that kick hit Schneider on the chest. He comes back to Fisher, just forward of right centre wing, out of side, in front of the Great Southern Stand. Fisher looks down deep. Goddard wants it high. Fisher will will kick it long, but not towards Goddard. It floats to the pocket. Coming back down there, Gardner. Coming up behind him, a teammate, Kazetsky. Clears the pack, though, and goes out of bounds about 30 metres around from the right-hand behind post at the punt road end of the MCG in the 2009 Grand Final. Boundary throw-in. Blake from behind knocks it down. It spills wide of the pack. Goddard charged in, head down. Eyes only for the football. Gave it to Farron Ray. Strong tackle by Harley. And the ball will be bounced right on the 50.
You can tell a lot about what a side's trying to do with the ball in their hands if you watch the player that's being tagged. Sano, on 3 or 4 occasions, hasn't tried to outrun Ling. He's just gone to 40 metres in front of the ball, knowing that there's going to be a contest long.
So Geelong lead by 5 points. It went to Milburn. Clean bowled was Zablett and Chapman, picked up by Rock Ling. Rock Ling got it across to Ablett, who ran away from Clinton Jones to the half-forward line. Varco, but coming through Sam Fisher, can't take it. Right over the top of the ball, Stacks on the mill. It's like the children's playground on the umpire. Sean Ryan said, I'll bounce it midway between the centre and centre half forward for the Geelong Cats, down towards the city end of the ground. Coming through Burns. He did a bit of a pirouette and hand pass to Ablett. Ablett broke the tackle. That's holding the ball. The umpire said no, it wasn't. Ablett got a hand pass of sorts out to Milburn. Stevie J, but Lenny Hayes again. He's playing the game of his life when it matters. Took a mark and kicked it into the centre of the ground, and here comes Kaczynski. Kaczynski comes around, kicks a long ball out towards Revolt. Revolt's up. Harry Taylor did it magnificently. Went to the left, dropped the football. Ball says the crowd, and your boot says the umpire. Kicked off the ground by Revolt. In towards Milne. Right forward pocket. Kicked it towards the goal square. Coming out, trying to get it going. Dempster can't get it. Play on, says the umpire. Bartel will get it to Scarlett. And Scarlett went bang outside 50, but it went straight into the arms of Baker, who dropped it. Hand pass to Del Santo. Del went bang. Long mongrel finger-breaking punt that went outside 50, outside the left half forward flank and over the boundary line. It is 24th minute ticking away. Geelong 3 straight 18. St Kilda 2-1 13. St Kilda into attack.
Boundary throw it in the pocket then. Clean possession, will not quite. Selwood knocked it down to his own advantage. Went and found it again. Runs up towards halfback. Kicks to the wing. Rook hands to it. Couldn't hang on. It's a slippery ball. Surrounded by Saints. He went after it. It spills the ball. He's getting touches too. Kicks inside the forward 50. Milne. Milne is marked on his chest and could almost be 50.
Fantastic kick. Milne actually pointed to that. He was behind Harley and he was able to point to that. Great kick by Luke Ball.
See what they're doing here, the Saints. They're kicking wide of the corridor. They're trying to get it in deep so that the Cats can't get their run and game going off half back from a central area. They're forcing them to defend and trying to mark it lateral and wide of centre.
Tough kick this.
Inside 50s, 15-7.
So Milne comes in and misses to the skinny side straight off the bat, but I think he had a pretty strong case watching the replay for 50.
Yeah, absolutely.
Milne was about, well, I suppose 3 metres from Ling when he took the mark, and Ling just straight armed him and got him pretty well.
They've been so much about possession all year, the Saints. Now they're about territory. Today's been about territory. They want to kick it long and get it as close to their goals and try and put some pressure on Geelong and create mistakes and scoring opportunities.
So this is Enright. He got it to Scarlett, got it back to Ling, got it back to Bartel, who kicked a long bomb towards the centre of the ground, and Varco hand passed it. But coming in over there is Ball, playing an absolute beauty. It went to Sam Fisher, and Raphael Clark got a little chip pick out towards Lenny Hayes, the man of the moment. Screaming rain now, kicks it a half forward and over the head of the young man in Dempster. And the mark has been taken by Wojcinski, who can just take a little bit of a spell. Harley is asking for it, but he said, I'll go to the opposite right half-back flank to where Milburn's got it. So Milburn will go back to centre half-back and give it a Scarlett. Scarlett's got Enright if he wants him, but this time he chose the other alternative, went to Harley. Harley marked it, played on from Montana and got it on further. And the mark taken over there by Bartel. Bartel into the centre of the ground, went for Burns, but going up, can't get it over there. Blake coming through. Gilbert went without the pill, but he got a hand pass. Zach Dawson got a hand pass over there. It went to McQualter and went to Ball, and here comes a bit of a mark down there. Dempster hand pass it off McQualter. McQualter on 50, got it to Graham. Graham hand pass to Joe Montana. He's a long way out, brings it across his body to Revolt. He dropped it. It came out now, picked up got it on further to Mackie. Mackie kicked a mongrel finger breaking over the top mountain kick that went out of play right in front of Scott Cummings for paint away.
Harry Taylor's come off the ground. Nick Rewald's run him into the ground. Mackie's now got the job on Rewald.
I tell you what, they're going to look at this matchup on Hayes at quarter time. I think Cameron Ling, he's having a massive influence on this game. Ling might go to him after the quarter time siren.
18-14, Cats lead on the Mitsubishi Electric scoreboard after the boundary throw in. In goes Selwood, taken away by Corey, kicks it beyond the wing down towards Rook, who went to ground. 2-on-1, they beat Rook. Hand pass from Clark came across to Fisher. Well done by the Saints. He kicks it across towards the outer side. Mark is taken by Schneider, working for 50, doesn't get it. 70 metres out. Saints looking better. He's looking for Revolt, just wide. It runs away from him, having pitched, and goes out of bounds in the pocket.
Interestingly, Harry Taylor's come off. Mackie's now on Rewalt. Now, is it to give him a breather? Is it the rotational aspect? We won't find that out until later on in the game. Has he got an injury? But St Kilda just kicking it long, getting inside 50 as often as they can.
It's brighter now. Geelong by 4 points. Now was Ottens who got it to Bartel. Spiral punt, a torpedo down towards a Tomahawk. He can't take it. Tom Hawkins running onto it. Burns. The two worlds collide.
Keep your feet.
The umpire's going to go bang. He's going to actually penalise Hawkins. Advantage played, wasn't paid. It'll come back to Blake. And Hawkins is limping. He's got a bit of a corky, but he's looking a little bit ragged there. Now the ball came out there and was kicked forward by Blake to half forward. Now it's going to be Ball to take the mark. And Ball now, he's very nervous. He wants to, he's very, very nervous. He kicked a long ball out to Revolt and right over the top there. Scarlett thumped it within right. Running onto it. Oh, this is going to be Ray to bring it across his body. Schneider!
Great kick.
And Schneider was the only man who had eyes for the ball and could take an uncontested chest mark as easy as you like. 30 metres out, no angle to speak of.
Well, that crumb, Rewalt forces the crumb. He takes three defenders to spoil the ball. That crumb is what St Kilda must capitalise on. They do here through Ray screwing the ball across his body to the top of the square, to the dangerous area. That crumb is going to be the battle today.
Right half forward flank, left footer, should score, should put the Saints in front, and he does. St Kilda's persistence, St Kilda's perseverance and work ethic have got them to the front approaching quarter time. St Kilda are 3-2-20. 2 points up on Geelong, 3 straight 18. Mitsubishi Electric scoreboard. Graham Bond for Europe car. This game is turning.
It is inside 50s at one stage for 4-1 Geelong's way. It's now 18-7 St Kilda's way.
Scotty, what about that breeze?
Yeah, it's going the city end, believe it or not. The flag's on top of the scoreboard at the city end, so it's coming straight over the top, heading towards the Richmond end. It's definitely favouring Geelong, this breeze. Harry Taylor's come back on. He's gone back to Rewalt.
Well, that being the case, terrific turn by St Kilda then, and we sensed they were getting on top as Bartel crashes the pack. In goes Schneider, early miss, but that last goal has got his confidence up. Can't say the same about Raph Clark. He still looks a little tentative. They need him to come to the party. Umpire throws it up alongside the centre circles this time. Won by Ottens. Stolen away by Hayes. What a game. Yeah, Hayes inside the centre square. Chips it out wide to Jones. The Saints up and about at the moment. Jones their stopper on the wing. Looks down towards half forward. Unloads a high ball from behind. Kazetsky. Almost a second attempt mark. No good. Taylor went to ground. Crashing the pack out there. Wojcinski. Ball knocked across the boundary line by Schneider, or was it Milne? It was Milne, and it will be thrown in with 29 seconds remaining in the term.
Going to sound harsh, Rex, but Kaczynski's got to make people pay for standing in front of his space.
This has promised so much and it's delivered so much. This is an absolute pearler of a grand final. Ablett tackled high. Ball said the crowd. In your boots, says the umpire. This is Bartel. Went onto the centre wing, and Rook, who kicked the first goal of the game for Geelong, has taken a wonderful mark. Geelong now go with Rook towards Chapman, punched away by Zach Dawson, and here comes Gilbert. He was grabbed, but he hand passed it off, and it went to Dempster, who got it back to Goddard. Goddard now off the half-back line, got a hand pass, and the siren will sound. The siren will sound for quarter time, and St Kilda lead by 2 points. The Saints have come back. They trail by 12 points because Geelong kicked the first 2 goals of the game through Rook and Mooney. And St Kilda have kicked 3 of the last 4 goals on the Mitsubishi Electric scoreboard at quarter time in the 2009 Grand Final at the MCG here in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. St Kilda 3 goals to 20, lead Geelong 3 straight 18.
Yeah, look, fantastic composure by St Kilda. Geelong had the run of the game and were able to kick the first 2 goals. There's no doubt they got it into their forward line. We were talking about St Kilda making Geelong's defenders defend. Well, that's what Geelong need to do at the other end of the field. They haven't been able to. They've only gone inside 53 times, basically in the last 2/3 of that quarter. St Kilda's defence were able to play up. Fullbacks were playing across halfback. Their halfbacks were playing across the middle, and they're so dangerous when they're able to set up their defence and they really lock down. Geelong weren't able to win enough of the ball to get through the middle of the field to take advantage of their open forward line, and that's what St Kilda have done to sides. They've denied them inside 50s, and for Geelong to only have 7 in a quarter has been a fantastic effort by the Saints. Having said that, Rex, just 2 points in it.
Thank you to Nathan Buckley, joined today by a couple of premiership stars in Tony Shaw and David King on 3AW. But quarter time in the 2009 AFL Grand Final here at the MCG in Melbourne. St Kilda lead by 2 points. St Kilda are 3 goals to 20. And Geelong are 3 straight goals 18. This is 3AW Football.
Attention all mortgage holders. If you're currently looking for or considering a new home loan, you can't miss this. Assured Home Loans are having a sale. One of Assured's 30 plus lenders is offering a fully featured variable rate home loan with a 100% offset account and a rate that's almost 1% below most lenders. That's right, almost 1% below most lenders. But this is strictly a limited offer. Call the friendly experts. Call Assured Home Loans now to take advantage of this sensational offer before it's gone. Based on most lenders' standard variable rate home loan. Lending criteria, terms and conditions apply.
Yeah, it depends how you define enough light. It's a new initiative I'm trying. I call it construction by candlelight. I thought I'd give the boys a more spiritually enlightening environment. They're vanilla and cinema scented.
Someone should have called Coates Hire. They're the equipment hire experts. They've got all your power and lighting needs, and they'll make sure you've always got the right gear for every job. Go on, give Coates Hire a call on 13 15 52.
My husband and I feel that as I reign over you, one should be entitled to a senior's card to enjoy the splendid senior's menu at the Windsor. With the wide selection available to one's senior subjects for the pittance of $11.50, one almost wishes one was a commoner in order to enjoy the Windsor's senior's menu and splendid salad bar. One suggests one books, or as my husband quips, make a royal appointment.
To book, call the Windsor on 82613522.
If you've been putting off buying a new bed, then here's what you've been waiting for. September at Snooze. It's the biggest thing in beds, with up to a massive 30% off store-wide, including top brand beds like Sealy and Slumberland, and a huge range of furniture too. Plus, get up to 30 months interest-free. So hurry into Snooze and let us fit you to the right bed with the latest Sleep to Live body diagnostic technology. Because when your bed fits well, you sleep well. Be quick, September ends soon at Snooze. Fees, charges, terms and conditions apply. See in-store for details.
Who's most likely to give you a great deal on a hard-working ute? Ford, of course. That's because right now, ABM buyers pay just $29,990 drive away for the tough Falcon Ute style side, which includes dual front airbags, 5-speed auto, aircon and more. And if you're eligible for the government's 50% investment allowance, that'll mean even more dollars in your pocket. So, who's most likely to work harder on a ute deal for you? Ford, of course. See your dealer today. Recommended offer price on pre-August vehicles. ABN buyers at participating dealers. Talk to your tax advisor to determine eligibility.
Fielder's steel. It's been a part of the great Australian landscape for over a century. In your steel roof at home, in iconic structures like the MCG, in advanced designs like the Adelaide Airport Terminal. Our strength is flexibility. It's the ideas we put into our steel formwork, concealed fixed roofing, our patios, carports, fences and sheds that make all the difference. A century of service and a future of steel progress. Choose the great Australian. Fielder's Steel Roofing. Finish on top.
This is Saturday Finals Footy Live on Adelaide's #1 football station, 5AAFL.
Filters. Keep it clean with Ryco Filters.
So Rook kicks a long goal. And Mooney has taken the juggle back.
Great call, Dan.
Can Mooney splits the centre from long range.
Magnificent.
Goddard on its way, rides on the breeze, rides truly.
Joel Selwood broke the tackle, lined it up, and has kicked a magnificent goal.
What a goal. Kicks inside the forward 50. Mill
from 44 metres, he's kicked a goal. A goal to Lenny Hayes. He was magnificent, Hayes, and Graham Bond will tell us how magnificent. At quarter time, the coaches have spoken. The players move to their respective positions. St Kilda lead by 2 points, 3-2-20 to Geelong's 3 straight 18.
And they can thank Lenny Hayes for Europe Car. 11 disposals, 5 clearances, 7 contested possessions, 3 marks and a goal in that quarter. Luke Ball, 7 possessions, Goddard 7. Del Santo and Hayes have had 9 of their 12 clearances for the term. 19-7, the inside 50's best for the Cats. 7 up in Melbourne, Ablett, 9 to Bartel.
So, umpire Sean Ryan throws the ball in the air and St Kilda's Gardner goes up. He side leads by 2 points, but Ottens grabbed it. He got a hand pass. Enright ran into Ottens, but it was Ottens again on hands and knees. He got nowhere to give it to. He gave it across to Joel Corey, who hand passed a rough-looking hand pass out to Selwood, who quickly got it across towards Bartel, who kicked it down to Hawkins, who came through. The ball off the top of the pack, and Joel Corey tackled by Joe Montana. It's tough, it's rugged. No room for faint hearts out there as Goddard is all tied up by Bartel. You wouldn't expect anything else, and the stars are now starting to shine, although it's overcast conditions and the artificial light just towers down from the stanchions. The ball in the hands of Raphael Clark, and he got it to Joe Montana of St Kilda, running out to the wing position. This is Selwood. He's in a bit of trouble. He broke the tackle and he's been penalised, and it's going to be McQualter to take the free kick and give it back to Graham.
Sorry, Rick. Stevie Baker just feeling the pain there. He got absolutely crunched by his own teammate. He's up on his feet. He's a tough little nut, but he's certainly not 100%.
Scott Cummings for Payne away today on the boundary. The ball went down towards half-back, and what a mark. No, it wasn't a mark. The ball came out to Lenny Hayes, who hoiked it out to Gardner, who kicked it off the ground inside 50. This is Revolt. Diving on the ball down there was Kelly. Revolt put the slipper in too. Off it goes to the left half forward flank, and the umpire McBurney will put it down in the first minute and a half of play. Little bit of rain. 3 goals straight 18. They trail by 2 points. St Kilda are 3-2-20.
Thrown up close to the boundary line. Chances are it will go out here. Ottens knocks it down. In goes Corey. It's going to be a free kick. It's going to Del Santo. Tackled by Corey. And Del Santo didn't have the ball. Awkward pocket for a left footer, though. He's about 10 metres in from the boundary. He'll kick it virtually on the 50-metre mark. We'll get an indication of the breeze. If it sucks it in, he has some hope.
Just a smart body worker. Snyder there was able to block for Del Santo, got him free, and that puts the pressure on the Cats to be able to lock him down.
Those flags certainly look as though they're pushing out from the goals. So watch this kick with interest. Del Santo just sets it up. It floats towards the square. Harley goes back and thumps it across the line, forcing it behind. So the Saints increase their lead. They're 3-3-21. On the Devine home scoreboard, they lead by 3 points. Geelong 3 straight, but they led 2 goals to nothing. So since the early going, really, it's been the Saints. Kicking it to himself. Mackey drives towards the outer side, hangs in the air, and so does Hawkins. Launches stretched himself. Takes a while to get the kick away. Oh, terrific. Going back with the flat of it. Goddard juggles the mark.
And kicks a long ball in towards a long lead. Revolt goes up. The ball in contention. This is Kelly. She's got a lot of arms and legs to get it to Scarlett, who was besieged. Absolutely besieged. And there's going to be a free kick to St Kilda. What? There's a free kick to St Kilda. It's going against Scarlett. And umpire Sean Ryan lectures Scarlett. And Dempster, Sean Dempster's going to line it up 38 metres out of the right half forward flank.
That was a secondary free kick. The tackle was going to be a ball up, and I would have thought that Scarlett actually. That was a great tackle, a great gang tackle by 2 or 3 St Kilda players. Scarlett took the tackle, went to ground, but then must have collected Dempster high.
This is a defining moment as Dempster kicks a long goal.
Had to do that.
That is a magnificent kick by Dempster. And St Kilda looking really good at the moment, really solid after weathering the 2-goal storm that Geelong dished up in the first 11 minutes. It's been all St Kilda, all Lenny Hayes, and St Kilda go to 4-3-27. They lead Geelong 3 straight 18. Divine home scoreboard, a divine grand final on Freo W.
Well, not great signs. 21-8 inside 50s. They needed that conversion because they have been dominant, I think, since the 15-minute mark of the first quarter. And it's happened also, the kick-ins of Geelong, that zone frontal pressure in the zone setup really caused that turnover. Hawkins got it into the middle, a bad kick, and then it opens you up. But, gee, just there, he just followed down with an elbow, Scarlett, and the umpire saw it right in the spot.
Gardner superbly up, knocked it down. The man it was intended for left the ball behind. Otten's got it. After the kick came back towards Corey. Corey sends it across to Otten's by hand. Kicks inside the forward 50. Loose ball towards the pocket. Going back down there is Gilbert. He's taken to the ground. We'll have a boundary throw in.
What we're seeing at the moment, at every contest, usually so good at outnumbering, they get the next play to the contest. But at the moment, St Kilda are the ones. They get the 3rd player there after a pair. They get the 5th after 2 pairs. They're out working, out hustling and outnumbering the best side in the competition at doing that in the last 3 years.
Boundary throw in. The ball spills out of bounds again, so the umpire will do it again. You've missed nothing. Boundary throw in, right full forward at the punt road end. Geelong desperately need a goal just to change momentum slightly. Ottens realises that, hooks it down behind, taken by Corey, went looking for Selwood, sliding in was Goddard, knocked it out, picked up by Jones. Without the ball, Ablett was slung. The Brownlow medalist will kick it goal from about 45. He'll have to kick it well.
Gee, he did it well, Dan. What he did, instead of grabbing the ball, he knew he could control it by holding the ball with one hand and leaving it alone, but kept his body to protect it, and it was Gilbert who slung into the ground.
So he was like Junster there, just feeling the football as if it was something that had a pressure point, but he didn't really do very much. Tantalising the football. Ablett miscues with a kick. It wanders towards the opposite pocket. Marked by Fisher. Plays on immediately. Gives it across towards teammates. Del Santo's got it. He goes to Montagna. Good pressure on Montagna. Stolen away by Hawkins. Comes to Chapman. Long kick. Almost misjudged. Almost misjudged by Gardner. It seemed as though he was going to take a mark, and suddenly that ball carried on him, and he barely got back in time to get a hand to it.
Del Santo getting up a little bit gingerly.
And it's Goddard who gets it out to Joe Blake, and Blake marks it in the right back pocket. Hand pass it over the top to Sam Gilbert, who kicks it onto the wing looking for Dempster, who gave a little bit of a shove, and the umpire said play on. This is Corey Enright. He's just a master of this. He slipped over, but he got it to Rockling. Rockling's got Corey if he wants him. Joel Corey's taken it, and here comes the big hairy cat, and Mooney has marked it. And he's going to go to Barco, and not a good kick at all. And St Kilda are going to clear. They're not making good decisions, Geelong, as now Graham has got Big Daddy Longlegs in Gardner. He lopes around like the stilt man from Moomba. He now picks it up, and on the left boot kicks a long ball down towards Kaczynski. This could cost Geelong. A long ball by Kaczynski. Down to Dempster. Harry Taylor stands his ground and takes the mark. Hand past Joel Corey. Got it off Cameron Ling. Rockling now will wait for Ottens, but he's gone short to Burns. Burns can't get it. Good play over there by Ball, but Burns runs around. He's on on his favourite foot, and it's his left one. Down towards Max Rook. Rook's taken a wonderful mark. He'll now play on. He's looking for Stevie J. Kicked it into the back of Blake. This is Mackie. Mackie tackled. The umpire said, give it to me. St Kilda have got Geelong rattled. They've got them rattled, and St Kilda are 4-3-27. Geelong 3-1-19. It's the Saints leading.
After the throw up, down goes Hayes. Ball held to him. We'll have another ball up.
Big news for Geelong. Sorry, Shuri.
You're right.
Chapman has gone down into the rooms. He came off the ground looking a little ginger. He's down the rooms. I'll keep you posted.
Tossed up again. Knocked down there by King. Taken by Goddard. Kicks it up towards the wing. Big fist at the back from Harley. Falls in front. Going after the football there was Dempster. Trying to pick it up now is Revolt. Hand passes to Montagna. Found his way through. Brilliant football. Yeah. Wonderful hand pass from Ball. Releases Milne. He can run inside the forward 50. Question of accuracy. He goes along the ground. It slithers towards the goal line. Getting back is Scarlett. Picks it up about 2 metres off the line. Short one to Mooney.
He had a real fear of failure then, Milne.
Did he what?
He had thought, geez, I better finish this, I better do this, I better do that. He was worried about what wasn't going to happen as much as he was worried about what he was going to do.
He had to bounce the ball.
Good movement by Kosicki to open up that goal square, but just didn't kick through it, didn't steady.
Bit of a worry for the Saints too. Nick Dalsano, as Buck said, pulled up ginger. He's getting a bit of treatment to his left hip.
Enright out of defence, kicks it directly towards Graham. Graham did well, but couldn't complete the mark. It spills out of the pack. Throwing himself in there was Selwood. Taken down Wojcinski, and the umpire will ball it up.
I tell you what, the work of Luke Ball this last 10 minutes has been fantastic. He's harassing, he's tackling, he's in everything. Doesn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet, but he is working his backside off.
Now the heavy rain comes and it teams down as King knocked it out. It went to Milburn. Milburn now got a kick into the centre of the ground, and here comes the big hairy cat, Cameron Mooney. He's got to lift and give him something. So does Hawkins. Selwood was grabbed. Plants to the umpire. Now it went out to Burns. This is Ablett. Ablett hand passed over the top of Milburn, but running onto it in a bit of trouble. Milne picks it up. Milne to the right. Hand pass off. Dennis McQualter, and has kicked it behind the stick. Goodness gracious me. Oh, that's grand final pressure at its best.
That was a 9 out of 10 as well.
St Kilda 4-4-28. They lead by 9 points. Geelong 3-1-19 as the rain tumbles down at the MCG. Now this is Harry Taylor. He's got it. Left half back flank. Kicks it outside 50 to a contest.
High ball then. Rook won't get to the contest. He was edging to. Thumped away by Dempster from behind. Falls in front Montagna. Hand passes to Goddard. That was a good hand pass. Got free of the congestion. Gave it to McWalter. Dragged down, but not before he got the kick across to a teammate in Milne. A chance for redemption. That's been a theme this week. He'll kick it goal from about 25 metres out. 45-degree angle at the city end, and this will be a handy lead if he gets it.
Dalsano back on the ground for the Saints. Still no sign of Paul Chapman.
So the margin currently at 9 points. This for 15. In the rain. It's not going to be easy to overhaul this. Milne comes in, and he's missed. They're dominating play, the Saints. They can't put it on the scoreboard. But the Vinehome scoreboard reads 4-5 St Kilda. Geelong at 3-1.
So it's going to be now Enright. It could be a turnover because here comes Graham, but doing it well. Selwood. Mackie, she was crunched by King. And the umpire said, you can all play on, but I'm staying away. And the umpire saw it still in contention, but it's surely now going to be put down by umpire Sean Ryan. This is as tough as you'll see it. This is why there's 100,000 outside the fence. Now the umpire put it in the air and going through. Hayes was tackled over there. Plants at the umpire. And it went out there to Clinton Jones. He kicked a high ball. Went to the left half forward flank. Over the top as Mackie can't get it. Now Revolt hovering over, looking for it. The umpire says yes, it's a free kick to St Kilda.
Gee, that's not in the spirit of this final.
It's not.
I'll tell you what, the one thing about Milne, he
Going to Geelong at 50 metres, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, you're right, Rick. He hasn't converted, but gee, he's been a dangerous player at Grant Milne in the last 5 minutes. They've got to get control of him.
So the rain tumbling down. We all thought it would favour Geelong, but they're trailing by 10 points on the 3RW Divine home scoreboard. So the 50 is completed in the centre of the ground. Now Ablett kicks a spinning ball down to half forward looking for Rook. Oh, Willie, a one-handed mark to Sam Fisher. It came out now. Raphael Clark and Stevie J over the top. Farron Ray did it wonderfully well. A worm burner was meant for Dempster, but he couldn't get it. Mackey, a little bit of nervousness. Mackey playing on in front of himself, coming in McQualder. He was tackled by Rockling. For Dempster, Mackey, Rockling, Hawkins and Ray.
Raph Clark.
And the umpire said, give it to me. Go on now.
Raph Clark in trouble now, limping on that right leg. He's got the right calf bandage. The doctor's out to him. Doesn't look good.
After the umpire tosses it up, it comes to Selwood. Good hand pass to Hawkins. Sold Wojcinski into trouble. Non-thinking hand pass, just gave it to the boys. Selwood comes back into the fray. Chance for his second goal. Elects the hand pass. Ling is through, will almost. It bounces down towards the square. Burns onto the loose ball. Goes in, and after a long wait, Geelong get their fourth to trail by only 4 points. Terrific again by Selwood. St Kilda 4-5-29. Geelong at 4-1-25 on the Divine Home scoreboard. And that was a Lachlan Partners play of the day.
Oh, Joel Selwood, he just puts his head over the ball. He had 2 and 3 efforts. He never had full control of it. All of a sudden, he got the handle, the slickest of hands, across to Ling, who assessed the situation instantly and just put it to the dangerous space. He didn't try and kick the goal. Clever play by both Cats players.
30 minutes of footy. The 2 goals that Geelong have scored have come off the back of bullocking efforts by Selwood through the 50. They've had to work pretty hard for their goals.
Milne could have cost them the grand final here, boys.
Raph Clark off the ground and in the rooms.
The ball in the air and it went out to Wattens. Hayes came through without the pill. Now Rockling has been penalised. They've got to make some concessions here, I reckon, the umpires, because this is dead set, tough, wet conditions we haven't seen the like of for years. A long ball by Schneider, but Milburn is out. Here comes Dempster. Milburn punched it away. Going out the Brownlow medalist in Bartel, and it's over the boundary line and out of bounds. Graham Bond for Europcar.
We've been playing 1 quarter and 13 minutes. Stevie Johnson yet to gain a possession.
Yeah, he still looks half lame. The other thing, he's going to the ground at the contest, maybe because he's lacking that speed.
The ball spinning back into play. Otten's got a fingernail to it. It went out to Wojcinski. Now it's tough football. Thing to slide. The ball slippery through the hands of Wojcinski by Ottens. Went out to Stevie Johnson. He's caught. Nilly holding the ball. That is not Nilly. That is holding the ball. He's becoming a liability, Stevie J. He's becoming a liability as the ball's out there with young Ball. So Ball has got it left half forward flank. He kicks it to the half forward line. Going up Schneider. Can't take it. Knocked on towards Selwood. He went out looking for Wojcinski, who's tackled. Now it's going to be Kelly. Got it across to Ottens. Ottens playing beautiful football. Kicked it out towards Burns. Burns is out in front of Clinton Jones. Jones, Burns, Jones. Boundary line wins.
Well done.
This is magnificent. This is why you go to the footy. And Geelong are just making a statement. St Kilda hanging on by 4 points.
Chapman coming back on the ground. Hawkins off. He's run straight out of the rooms and on the ground. Raph Clark out of the rooms as well.
Boundary throw in right half forward goes directly to Ray, and the umpire says he is. Throw it in again, says umpire Rosebery. That one slipped out of the hands of the boundary umpire and went at 45 degrees.
That's McCrevice.
Chapman going down to full forward now for Geelong, being picked up by Blake.
Boundary throw it again then. Self-same position.
Want to be good, this one.
Lock up, a lot of pressure on. In front is Ottens, flicks it down. Looking for Kelly. Pushing the back. Johnson.
The first of the ball, St Kilda. We spoke about
it. What, Johnson's getting frustrated too. Yeah. He is a liability at the moment.
Ball was getting the kick. He hand passes across towards Goddard, who kicks inside the forward 50. Revolt was up. Hands to it. Couldn't complete the mark. It falls to Kelly. Kelly a hand pass to Ling under pressure. Ling kicks it, hoping for the boundary line. Will it stay in? Graham will get to it just a metre inside. Kicks back inside the forward 50. Revolt attracts a crowd. They need the boundary with a fist there. It stays alive. It comes to a left footer if you don't mind. And Schneider kicks a point. Well, that was bad defence.
It was.
Has to be thumped towards the boundary so you get a second chance or it goes out of bounds.
Well, that's the problem of Revolt going for the mark. It's 3 against 1 and they've got Crummers if they can do it at ground level.
St Kilda by 5 points at the right half-back flank for Geelong, and this is Scarlett. He got a lead out there from Travis Barco, who took it. He kicked it down towards Joel Corey, put him in all sorts of pressure moment as Joe Blake went right over the top, thumped it and went out of play, centre wing out of side.
They're doing it by foot out of defence, the Cats. They normally run and combine and link. They haven't got their running game going.
And
full credit to the tackle pressure of the Saints.
So the ball spinning back into play. It shines from that Aqua Pure on it. The rain tumbling down, and dual rain is falling at the MCG, both vertical and horizontal. And on the Divine Home scoreboard, St Kilda 4-6-30. They're just in front of Geelong 4-1-25. Now St Kilda go forward, punched away from Milne. It went out towards Stevie Johnson. He tried to get it to Kelly. The ball kicked along the ground, out of play, left half forward 50. St Kilda to the city end, looking really, really good. It's the Saints in the grand final by 5 points.
Ref Clark back out in the ground.
Abbott's gone forward now.
Boundary throw in right on the 50. Ottens has done most of the ruck work. Haven't seen a lot of Blake. Ottens got his left hand to it, knocked it down. It fell directly in front of him. Bartel goes in, but the ball wedged under about 3 players, and the umpire will do it again.
42 tackles St Kilda, Geelong 28. And I reckon most of those 42 have been St Kilda's forward half.
And Ablett's gone forward, and this time, unlike round 14, Jones isn't going with him. Sam Gilbert's got him. The Saints have learned from that game against the Cats.
Ruck infringement. Ottens gets the free kick. Hand passes to Enright, comes across the ground. Scarlett pushes off Dempster. This will be interesting. Scarlett soccers off the ground. They're 30 metres from anybody else, and Dempster decides he'll head for the boundary and knocks it out of bounds at the interchange gates.
Gee, that was a massive kick there. Turnover on that wing. They're still playing the game, but right, Kingy's right. They're doing it by foot, not able to link up with handball, trying to break the line. Still on the scoreboard, only 5 points the difference, though.
Centre wing members side, ball spinning back into play. Hayes knocked it down. Ottens over the top, grabs Hayes. Play on, said the umpire. He said he'll bounce it down now. So we have gone into the 19th minute of the second term, and heavy rain falling at the MCG, and Geelong trailing by 5 points. On the Divine Home scoreboard, the ball came out. Bartel got it off to Corey Enright. He kicked it to the big hairy Cat, got a bit of a nudge. This is Rook, got a high tackle, no advantage, and Rook, I don't know whether he can kick it because Scott Cummings for Painaway, you said he might struggle with the wind, but I'll get to you in a moment. He's gone down. Yablett! Free kick, Yablett! Free kick, Yablett! Scott Cummings for Painaway.
Yeah, no way at all Rook would have been able to make the distance there. He would have kicked it from 55. It's a pretty... Even this kick for Gary, it's about 15 metres closer in than he shot earlier on in this second quarter. This is still not easy too. He'll be going right into the
Brownlow medalist. 20 years ago today, his father was on the same side, kicking his 8th goal from 30 metres out. Yablett! And Geelong are in front by a point in a seesawing, enthralling cliffhanger for the 2009 grand final. Geelong go to 5-1-31. St Kilda 4-6-30. Divine Home scoreboard. A divine place to be at the MCG today.
I tell you what, Rex, I don't think the St Kilda supporters enjoy your enthusiasm, because that was a softer free kick, and you know it's a grand final. He had his arms, but he didn't grab it all. They were just trying to fend off, and he didn't wrap around him. So they've taken him to full forward, and Clint Jones has gone there again.
Stevie J off the ground.
Cats lead it by a point. Umpire Ryan throws it up. Gardner decisively down to Del Santo. Hand passes to Hayes. Hayes digs it out of the middle in characteristic fashion. High ball inside the forward 50. Punched away by Taylor. Comes in front. Sliding in Harley in one direction. Couldn't control it. Revolt. Wonderful stuff in the one motion. Hand pass to Graham. And Graham has missed to the right-hand side and behind.
Selfish.
Scores are level, gentlemen. 4-7, 5-1. Nathan Buckley on 3AW.
For a bloke that's 6'5", that was a phenomenal bit of play. To scoop it up with one hand, with 3 or 4 other players bearing down and to find Graham. Not like St Kilda, as you said, as the kick goes out of bounds.
Yeah, Corey Enright kicked it to himself, so it can't be a free kick.
Yep.
The crowd
played on. He played on from full back.
Yep, thank you very much.
That's
what
okay.
I think I said. The ball now spinning back into play. Now knocked out by Daddy Longlegs in Gardner. Went to Joel Corey. This is Selwood, intercepted by Joe Montana. Montana gets a little kick in towards the goal square. Harry Taylor's in a bit of trouble. He now comes out in front of Revolt, but hand passes towards Scarlett, who puts his opposition under pressure. Here comes Revolt coming through Enright. Got it to Scarlett. Underground hand pass toward Taylor. He got it off to Varco. Varco kicked it out. The rain tumbling down. It's just not tumbling. It's falling out of the sky and over the boundary line and out of play.
They did that well, Rex, under enormous pressure. Scarlett just brilliant with an underground handball, I think it was, just to get it out of that area.
I think the message would be to Harry, though. Sometimes you've just got to kick it. Boundary throw it on the outer side. In front, Blake knocks it down. Taken by Joel Corey. Appear to be pushed in the back. No free kick. They're on the logo in front of the Great Southern Stand.
But that's the thing about it, Den. Sometimes, yes, you do have to just kick it, but Geelong's defence needs to find some more endeavour to actually try and run and carry. It's what they do, no matter what the conditions, and the Saints' pressure has stopped them from doing that.
Here's Montagna on the wing after the throw up. He's got the football smothered off the boot. Bartell is having a very good game, goes after it, tries to bump an opponent off the footy in the opposite direction. Montagna won the football, kicks it down towards half forward. Milburn, oldest man on the ground, takes the mark. Short one towards midfield. On the run is Corey, overcommitted, tried to stifle the bounce, comes to Graham. Graham hand passes directly to Corey. He hand passes to Mooney, back it comes to Corey. Corey spots Chapman and finds him. Scoring end of the centre square, takes something off the kick, goes looking for Rook. It was punched away. In comes Baker, taken to ground. Down goes Hawkins, and the umpire, I think, will whistle it up. No, he lets them play. The ball's slow to release. It hasn't come out, umpire.
Oh, really? So, I tell you what, Ralph, you know a lot, don't you? I suggested I'd take the washing off the line. Go and get it off now. The ball now at centre half forward. The ball went out to Graham. It's even Stevens here. 31 points, each of 2 on the Divine Home scoreboard. Geelong are into attack. Centre half forward. Punt road in. This is no place for faint hearts. This is why we're sitting up here.
Bartell's done very well on Hayes this quarter. Just the 2 touches for Hayes, and been locked away, given a lot more attention by Bartell.
It went out to Blake. He got it to Corey. Corey hand pass to Chapman. Chapman hand pass to Mackie. Mackie got it back to Milburn. Kicked a long ball down towards Rook. Oh, beautiful mark, Zach Dawson. Running with the flight of the ball. Took the mark at the punt road in goal square. Intercepted by Hawkins, who's kicked the goal. Intercepted by Hawkins and kicked the goal. You want to get the tape, son, because no matter what you're going to do, you have done. That was your moment. And as Anthony Waller would sing, this is the moment. And Geelong have got 6-1-37. St Kilda 4-7-31. Divine Home scoreboard. You take them when they're there.
Absolutely, Rex. And I'll tell you what, that's a huge error. That's a massive error. Make no mistake. That's as big as you can do in a grand final. To kick the ball into the man on the mark and have it spill into the goal square for a goal is poor. Zach Dawson now needs to compose himself. They still need to get to him, as they did in the first quarter to Raph Clark, and say, mate, we need you to goal the difference. It's a war of attrition, this game.
I reckon this Cats are starting to win the clearances, no doubt.
They win another one. Corey, a hand pass to Ablett, who kicks to Varco inside the forward 50. Plays on immediately to Chapman. Chapman 40 metres out. Back-to-back goals in the space of 45 seconds. The Cats suddenly step up to the plate. They do often. 7-1-43, 4-7-31. Suddenly the margin out to 12 on the Divine Home scoreboard.
And this is always the danger with such a great offensive side. St Kilda have controlled this match for most of the first half. They've missed goals through McWalter, Snyder and Milne that they should have kicked going inside 50 uncontested. They've given away a goal through Raph Clark trying to float out of the 50. Dawson with a turnover to Hawkins recently. They've had 11 scoring shots to 8, and yet they find themselves 2 goals down, and Geelong have been able to hang in there when the game's been going against them. Now they're starting to win a little bit more ball, and they've been dangerous.
Just saw the replay of the Hawkins kick. It hit the post. Wow. So it went out towards Selwood. But read about it in tomorrow morning Sage. The hand pass by Ablett went out there. This is Wojcinski. Got it on towards Corey Enright to the left half forward flank. This is Burns. Punched away by Clark. Clark of St Kilda got it across there to Graham, who got it off the ball, who got it off the King of St Kilda. Here's a big leap by Revolt, punched away by Harry Taylor. At the ball of the ball there is McWalter. He got it off to Jason Graham, who kicked it down to Revolt. He can't take the mark. Kaczynski can't go the pace, and the ball's over the boundary line and out of bounds with 3 minutes to go till the half-time hooter. Geelong are 7-1-43, St Kilda 4-7-31. I'll change that to siren.
Boundary throw it in the pocket, knocked down by Ottens, taken by Revolt, then he left it behind, it spills out of the pack, picked up by Milburn, got a hand pass to Ablett, Ablett across to Jimmy Bartell, kicks it to 2 Saints, it's coming back, Del Santo gathers the bouncing ball, measures the kick, and like a surgeon puts it onto the chest of Montagna.
Well, we heard before the game, Ross Lyon said a very important quote, let's make it a marathon, contain them, be in the game. We've got 20 players who've played 20 games plus. They've just got to hang in here, the Saints.
Voice of David King, Lee Montagna. His hero as a kid growing up was Nathan Buckley. Nathan didn't teach him to kick like that. Towards the kick-off line, off hands, it wasn't his best effort. Slung was Ray. Live ball, in goes Selwood, and the umpire McBurney, calls for it. Just a couple of minutes to half-time. Cats surging close to half-time. Lead by 12 points, 43-31 on the Divine Home scoreboard.
It's deep into attack for St Kilda at the city end. Midway centre half forward, full forward. It's against King.
I tell you what, Rex.
He's going to get it to Blake. You would tell me what then.
Some of the Geelong Warriors have stood up in the last 7 minutes to turn this around. Bartell, Selwood, those types are getting the ball and winning the clearances.
Blake hand passed it out to Selwood, who kicked it out onto the wing, and the courage call came as Goddard went in and just collected Hawkins and took the chest mark. In heavy rain, it actually pushes the ball down as it goes to centre half forward. Dempster went up, knocked on over there. Wojcinski pushed in the back. The umpire said no, he wasn't. Now the hand pass by Selwood went out to Chapman. This is Geelong. Beautiful smother off the boot by King. Stacks on the mill. It went out to Milburn. He ran to 50. He did a couple of jobs and then kicked it to the centre wing position. Diving on the ball over there. Hawkins can't keep his feet. He's wearing rubbers. It went to Goddard. Kicked a long ball down towards Revolt. Revolt goes up. This is wet weather conditions. You've got to understand 90% of the time or more the ball will be on the ground as Blake gets it off towards Wojcinski. He was taken about there by Revolt. Stacks on the mill. The umpire let it go. Good umpiring. You've got to make some concessions. The ball in contention for a bounce down. This is tough. This is rugged. This is a grand final. St Kilda trail by 2 goals.
Every time Geelong look to run and carry through the middle, there's a wall of Kilda defenders and tacklers that are just pressuring them to panic kick out of their defensive 50. They don't have to do that very often.
Revolt out of the pack, got boot to ball. It's built to McWalter about 5 metres away. McWalter didn't take it cleanly. Off the ground by Jones. Jones out of the congestion, made something out of nothing, and grand finals can tilt on just that moment. Wonderful effort by Jones. St Kilda get their 5th goal. They're 5-7. Geelong is 7-1 on the Divine Home scoreboard, just seconds away from half-time.
That bit of play there should teach the Saints coaching box a fair bit about the Cats defence. I reckon if you can draw them up the ground a little bit and try and vacate a bit of space in behind, they're getting the ball in often enough. They have all game. They just need to finish off or get closer to goal so they can put it on the scoreboard. I think up until that moment they'd kicked 5 points in a row. So it's a great result. They've just got to hang in.
35 inside 50s to 15. It's just so lopsided, and yet the Saints aren't ahead on the scoreboard.
Blake knocked it out, but it went to Ball, who kicked it to half forward. It was a worm burner, picked up by Kelly off the side of his boot to half forward, looking for Stevie Johnson. Hit him on the head. The ball came out to Sam Fisher. He got it across. Goddard hand pass to Hayes, but Goddard got one from Joel Corey. Goddard hand pass off to Del Santo. Everyone was kept looking. It went out to Graham. Graham on the right wing on the member side. Hand pass back into the centre of the ground to Sam Fisher. Kicked a long ball down. Oh, nearly a mark. Revolt, and Kaczynski kicks a goal. It's all tied up. 2 goals in 2 forward thrust by St Kilda. And they're saying it was touched. And Kaczynski has kicked Geelong St Kilda's 6th goal in driving rain.
Milburn's criticised the umpire, and McBurney, is giving him St Kilda a free kick.
So St Kilda will get 2 goals in one passage of play. The goal by Kaczynski to even the score, and a goal by Snyder to put St Kilda 1 goal in front.
Oh dear. That is. And you know why he gave it? Because Milburn had a go at the goal umpire.
No, you can't have emotion on the scoreboard like that. I think it's undisciplined from the Cats, and they pay the ultimate price to go on the grand final. That's all it comes down to.
A goal to Kaczynski levelled the scores.
And you know what?
And a goal to Snyder has put St Kilda 6 points in front, approaching half-time on the Divine Home scoreboard.
He's put himself in front of the team, and you pay the ultimate price. There's absolutely no value in that situation arguing with the umpire. There's only one result can happen.
Harden up, mate. Look, he
said that he gave him the double fingers. He's actually, Milburn's trying to say I've done it twice or something. He's accused him of sticking the umpire up yours.
Oh, okay.
The thing, he's arguing Milburn didn't go anywhere near it. He wasn't within a foot of touching that goal.
Come on, this is a grand final.
Softball, you that's right. Bucks is absolutely right. He wasn't near the football. What's he arguing about? Correct. No point. That is just silly stuff by Milburn. I said before, the oldest player on the ground. He's going to know better.
You're going to be kidding, Dennis.
We're going to have a ball.
This is a grand final. This isn't a Mickey Mouse little kids under 12 game.
Siren's gone for half-time now. 7-7 St Kilda, 7-1 Geelong. But why would you argue when you know in your own mind that you didn't touch the damn thing?
3 goals in the last 50 seconds of that quarter. And that hurts, doesn't it?
Remarkable stuff, the Saints.
At half-time, St Kilda lead by a goal. Kicked just then by Snyder. Before that, Kaczynski kicked a goal to level the scores. Before that, 50 seconds earlier, Clinton Jones, they've kicked 3 goals in a minute to take the lead at half-time. St Kilda 7-7-49, lead Geelong 7-1-43.
Make it a marathon. Yeah. Make it a marathon. Those words keep coming up, and I tell you,
well, they just surged.
You'll read about it tomorrow. Make it a marathon. The longer we can contain them, the longer we can stay in the game. They've got tired bodies. They've got Johnson who can't go. They've got Chapman who's crook and playing a minimal role or minimal impact in this game. The longer it goes, the better for the Saints.
No doubt. And look, the Saints have been fantastic. You look at the inside 50s. They're 37-15. Amazing figures. And to have only scored 14 times out of 37 entries is not a great result. But if they keep winning the ball across the middle, and if they keep kicking it long to Rewalt and Kaczynski and to whoever the other tall is in guards forward, if King pushes forward, that's what St Kilda are trying to do. As you said, Kingy, outside of the corridor. Now, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. The reason they do it outside the corridor, I reckon, is because Geelong want to run and carry across the field. But St Kilda's wall of pressure has forced them to go to the boundary time after time. And the combination of their ball use, their long ball use into their forward line, and their defensive structure to pressure them out and out of the corridor and across to the boundary has got them the control of the play. And yet They're just 6 points up. 6 scoring shots, but just 6 points. Geelong will be smarting about that last minute of play, and St Kilda will be up.
So at half-time in the 2009 AFL Grand Final here at the MCG in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, St Kilda, who led by 2 points at quarter-time, now lead by 6 points at half-time. St Kilda are 7-7-49 and Geelong are 7-1-43. And there's 14 individual goal scorers in this game for St Kilda. Goddard, Hayes, Schneider, I beg your pardon, Snyder's got 2. Snyder has 2. Dempster, Jones and Kaczynski. And for Geelong, goals to Rook, Mooney, Selwood, Burns, Ablett, Hawkins and Chapman. At half-time in the 2009 Grand Final, St Kilda 7-7-49, lead Geelong by 6 points, 7-1-43 on 3AW football.
I heard a persistent rumour from a number of sources, so I rang the club. Kane Corns to the Crows. Look, these are the official words. Would love to get him, but A, it'll cost too much money. He's under contract, and Port will just want far too much for a trade. So all those people are out there, Kane Corns to the Crows. It's not going to happen. But imagine if it did.
The 5AA Sports Show with Graham Corns and Stephen Rowe.
It's a whole new ball game.
Back Monday afternoon from 4. $13.95. Adelaide's 5AA.
850 days interest-free. No deposit, no interest till January 2012. Now at Harvey Norman. Great value furniture, bedding, Manchester electrical, computers, carpets and flooring. Get what you want now with Harvey Norman's store-wide offer. 850 days interest-free. No deposit, no interest with monthly repayments until 2012.
Minimum finance amount $1120. Fees, charges, terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Hurry, spring to it at Harvey Norman now.
Have you tried Zinulin yet? Zinulin is a new dietary fibre derived from England, the kind of fibre you'll find in fruit and veggies. Between work, sport and family, we barely have enough time to take care of ourselves and get enough fibre in our diet. Zinulin provides a convenient means of bridging that gap and maintaining the balance. Visit zinulin.com for stockist and to get your free sample pack. Zinulin, a natural fibre supplement, available at Diabetes SA, Chem Plus, National Pharmacies and all good health food stores.
What? You reckon two loos aren't enough? Well, you know, one for number ones and one for number twos. I mean, yeah, I know there are 87 blokes on site, but they won't all want to go at once, will they? Sure, there's a bit of a queue now, but...
Someone should have called Coates Hire. They're the equipment hire experts. They've got all your portaloo and site accommodation needs, and they'll make sure you've always got the right gear for every job. Go on, give Coates Hire a call on 13 15 52.
Morning, honey bunny. I baked muffins.
Why, thanks, Pumpkin.
Coffee?
Sure thing.
Milk?
That'd be neat. Honey, there's a bovine on the linoleum.
For old-fashioned, great-tasting milk the way it used to be, choose the Fluorio Milk Company. GM-free, direct from the farm to you. The Fluorio Milk Company. Great-tasting milk the way it used to be. From selected IGA and Foodland locations. Or Google Fluorio Milk.
G'day, it's Rex. The footy's almost over, but there's one team still working hard, and that's Mitsubishi Electric Diamond Dealers. They're tops for air conditioning design and installation. Clear favourites to help you beat the summer heat. For a first-class performance when installing an air conditioning system for your home, back the winning team at Mitsubishi Electric. Log on to mitsubishielectric.com.au. Mitsubishi Electric Diamond Dealers, experts in air conditioning design, installation and service. Mitsubishi Electric, magnificent.
This is Saturday Finals Footy Live on Adelaide's #1 football station, 5AAFL.
Footy highlights for Ryco Filters. Keep it clean with Ryco Filters.
This is a defining moment as Dempster kicks a long goal.
Had to do that.
St Kilda looking really good at the moment.
It bounces down towards the square. Burns onto the loose ball.
30 metres out.
Just got to kick it.
Yabler!
It hasn't come out, umpire.
Intercepted by Hawkins, who's kicked the goal.
Chapman 40 metres out. Back-to-back goals.
This is the moment.
The
step up to the plate. Well, the one moment just produced 3 goals from Snyder, Kaczynski, and it was just an amazing kick off the ground by Jones, and suddenly the whole complexion of the game changed, where St Kilda, within the shadows of the halftime siren, led by 2 goals and trailed by 2 goals. Now St Kilda lead by a goal. It was amazing. St Kilda 7-7-49 lead Geelong 7-1-43. This is the halftime wrap for Metlink, and Graham Bond commences our service with some stats.
Thanks, Rex. Of course, Europcar. Don't forget Europcar for a great deal on car or truck rental. Go to europcar.com.au. Really, the game has been played in St Kilda's forward half in the first half. Inside 50s have been enormous in favour of the Saints, 37-15. And the reason being so, when the ball's gone inside of the St Kilda forward half, their tackle pressure has been enormous. In that forward half, they've played an amazing number of tackles in that first half. In that second quarter, total tackles were 29-26. St Kilda laying 29, Geelong laying 26 tackles. But when the ball was going into that St Kilda forward line, the St Kilda forwards laid 21 of those 29 tackles to just 6 tackles in the Saints in the Geelong forward line. Luke Ball, he's had a big impact on the game so far in this first half of footy. He's been on the ground for only 32 of a possible 63 minutes, but he's won 12 disposals, 6 contested ball, and he's won 4 clearances. The leading clearance player, Lenny Hayes, very good in the first quarter, great first quarter. 6 clearances for the game now, 13 disposals and 8 contested possessions. St Kilda just ahead in the clearances, 25-24. But the big reason Geelong are in the game, they've been able to capitalise when that ball's gone inside attacking 50. It's only gone forward on 15 occasions. They've kicked 7 goals, 1, so they've only had the 8 scoring shots to 14 by St Kilda, but it's been the cleanness of ball when it's gone there for them to actually score goals much easier. And 3 of their 7 goals have come from what you'd say crucial turnovers, 1 from Raf Clark, 1 from Lenny Hayes, and 1 from Zach Dawson. At the end of that quarter, at one stage, Geelong was 12 points up with only a matter of seconds to go, and we saw those last 3 goals. Joel Corey, leading ball getter for the Cats, with 15, Ablett with 14, Milburn, who gave away that goal by abusing the goal umpire, with 13, Selwood and Scarlett and Bartell 12 apiece. Total disposals 168 for St Kilda. Of that 168, 86 have come in their forward half of the ground and 119 in the midfield. In the defensive 50, St Kilda have only had 15 possessions. Geelong have had 55 disposals in their defensive 50. So it shows where the game has been played. It's been played in the Saints forward half, and for Geelong to be able to limit St Kilda to 7 goals has been good. The Saints have really got to stop Geelong getting the easy goal in the second quarter if they're going to keep this game as close as it is. So they're the major stats. Around the stoppages, not much between the Ruckman Ottens with 15 hitouts, 8 to Gardner, 6 to King and 8 to Blake. 25-24 the actual clearances. Out of the centre at 6-5. Ball ups 12-4. Boundary throw-ins, Geelong slightly ahead 9-7. The free kicks 14-11 in favour of the Saints, 7 apiece in each quarter, and 5-6 in quarters 1 and 2 for the Cats. So boys, David, Tony and Nathan, obviously a great first half. What's the upside, what's the downside respectively?
Well, I think I wouldn't think that St Kilda could have it structured any better than what they have at the moment. They've come in with a very defined game plan. They're going to kick it long. They're going to use their tall targets, which we have seen is consistently going to draw 2, 3, sometimes 4 Geelong defenders, because they always kill the contest. Now what that's done is it's brought Milne into the game, Schneider into the game, McWalter into the game. Corey Jones has scunged a goal out of a clearance from it. We know that the tag player in Del Santo is getting to the front and centre. He's not trying to run around the field to rack up stats. He's running to a position to win a contested possession because he knows exactly what his teammates are doing. Now this is what St Kilda have done throughout the whole year. Every player on the field knows exactly what their teammates are going to do at any given point in time. The only thing is they've come in with a set plan a little bit different from what we've seen from them. They've come in from a plan that we've seen Etihad Stadium with a roof on top in absolute perfect conditions. They've brought a different plan to the MCG in slippery conditions against a very good opponent, and they're sticking to it. And they'll play it for the next 2 quarters, which tells me that if the Cats are going to win this game, they've got to be at their very best. Johnson needs to stand up. Their defence needs to keep taking risks out of there. That's the only way that they play. They've got to keep taking risks. They've got to keep trying to rebound. They've got to keep being as efficient as they have been going forward, but they've got to get it in there more than 15 times in a half. Geez, it's going to be tough for them because the Saints are going to keep doing what they do.
But the only reason they've had it in 15 times is because of the pressure of the Saints, and that's been their brand for the whole of 09. Yep. What we're seeing is why they're where they are. They've been able to put players, seasoned campaigners, really to the sword, and the Cats have failed at times. That's why the ball, there are inside 50s and there are inside 50s, as Ross Lyon said last week. The amount of double-ups, the ball coming out, being kicked out, turned over, going straight back in, I reckon we would have seen 10 of those. They've been able to force them to operate at a speed that they don't want to operate at.
We're seeing the Geelong defenders, I reckon I've seen them panic kick out of the 50 about 8 times. I've seen Scarlett throw it on the boot. We've seen Shannon Burns throw it off the boot. Milburn at times. They might be lucky to do that 8 times in 8 games when they're playing in the home and away.
The Saints kick 5 points in a row. Now that's going to come back to haunt them at some stage, because you know the Cats, you know they're going to get, with the quality of on ball they've got, they're going to have their time. They're going to have their 5-minute, 7-minute patch where they assume control, as they did that quarter, and as you called that quarter, Shorey. But they've got to make sure, the Saints, that when they get the advantage and they've got the ball coming back in on a turnover sense into their forward line, it needs to go through the big sticks. Otherwise, the game, the Cats will just go click, 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 and the game will be over.
Well, you keep them in the game as long as you do that. Look, I think they should be 4 goals up, the Saints, with general play, easier shots at goal. I thought even the kick-ins, Geelong's kick-ins, when you know they've got beautiful foot skills, they have just closed them down on the kick-ins, and those double turnovers inside 50, so you say come out, go back in straight away. That's just the pressure in the forward of the centre circle that the St Kilda side is setting up. I really believe they did lift in about the 15-minute mark of the second quarter. They started to win some clearances, got the ball inside 50, but as Nathan Buckley said, they've got to do that as clean as possible to win this game. Just one thing, 2 of the goals have come from St Kilda, and I know he's a great player. Gary Ablett had a goal kicked against him by Lenny Hayes, put no time into him, and Clint Jones didn't go to the contest, and Gary put no time into Clint Jones when he kicked that ball off the pack.
Jones is running him forward as often as he can.
So, you know, good players still also have to do their defensive job to keep you in the team and be disciplined.
So at half-time, as the half-time sprint gets underway, Brad Dick's going to run last, but we'll come back very, very shortly. Goodness me, it's going to be the Saints to run through and win it. And St Kilda won the sprint. That's a bit of an omen. Not a lot on Bondi's radar, but at half-time in the 2009 Grand Final, St Kilda 7-7-49, Geelong a 7-1-43. That's on the Clear Solar scoreboard. That was the half-time wrap for Metlink. Get on Metlink, and fellow seniors, it's a great way to travel, and we can get on half price on Sundays. It's now time to check with the 3W National Newsroom, and with some headlines, it's over to you, Eleanor Quirk.
Thanks, Rex. Good afternoon. Prime Minister Kevin Rudd will leave the United States tomorrow after a series of successful international meetings on the global recession and climate change. The G20 summits agreed on policies to stop the global financial crisis recurring. A man's been charged after allegedly making a threat to Queensland Premier Anna Bligh. It's alleged the man made a phone call early this morning to 000, threatening to kill the state's leader. A candidate will be chosen later tonight to run in the Bradfield by-election following Brendan Nelson's decision to quit Parliament, and another of the limestone stacks that make up Victoria's 12 apostles has crumbled into the ocean. More news after the football.
Hello, Michael. It's Isabel Redmond. Michael, just as a purely hypothetical question, when you were with Don Dunstan and John Bannon, nobody knew who you were. How did you get people to know who you were?
I think it was the Pale Blue safari suit and the moustache.
Breakfast with Keith Conlon, Tony Pilkington and John Blake. From 6 Monday morning, $13.95. Adelaide's 5AA.
Building or renovating on a budget? Get yourself into Direct Builders Warehouse and save a bundle. Taps, tiles, glues and grouts, sanitary ware, rainwater, you name it. Big brands like Ream Hot Water Services, Westinghouse Appliances, Corinthian Doors and Door Furniture. At Direct Builders Warehouse, you'll find end of runs and discontinued stock. Everything you need for your home at unbelievable prices. Direct Builders Warehouse, open 6 days, Paula Avenue, Windsor Gardens, right behind Direct Interiors.
How will that new shop down the road affect my business?
I still need to return that call from yesterday.
How many sales did I make this
Should I start selling that new
I wish
product?
my customers would pay their bills.
Is now the time to upgrade my equipment?
Maybe I should buy my premises instead of
I
renting.
wonder if I can negotiate better payments.
With all you have to think about, a free financial health check for your business can make sure your hard work leads to success. Call the Commonwealth Bank on 13 19 98 to schedule an appointment today. Commonwealth Bank, determined to be different.
If you've been putting off buying a new bed, then here's what you've been waiting for. September at Snooze. It's the biggest thing in beds, with up to a massive 30% off store-wide, including top brand beds like Sealy and Slumberland, and a huge range of furniture too. Plus, get up to 30 months interest-free. So hurry into Snooze and let us fit you to the right bed with the latest Sleep to Live body diagnostic technology. Because when your bed fits well, you sleep well. Be quick, September ends soon at Snooze. Fees, charges, terms and conditions apply. See in-store for details.
Jeez, it's really coming down now.
Yeah, how good is it watching the footy in perfect comfort? The Field of Steel Roofing is doing its job nicely.
I reckon. And there's nothing better than watching footy here live at the G.
Field of Steel Roofing is used on the stands at the MCG. Imagine what we can do for you. Fielders, 100 years of steel roofing innovation for residential and commercial applications. Fielders, finish on top.
Have a complaint about your telephone company or internet service provider? Not satisfied with their response? Then contact the Telecommunications Industry Ombudsman. The TIO is friendly and approachable. We'll investigate complaints about bills, credit and debt recovery, faults, new connections, transfers, internet access and other problems. The TIO, providing free, independent, just and speedy resolution of complaints. When all else fails, give us a call on 1800 062 058 or visit our website.
This is Saturday Finals Footy Live on Adelaide's #1 football station, 5AAFL. Now back to the MCG for 3AW's live coverage of the 2009 AFL Grand Final.
Thank you very much to you, Craig. And on the Clear Solar scoreboard, Geelong are trailing by a goal. St Kilda kicking 3 goals in the last minute of the second term, and one of them was a free kick without the ball going back to the centre of the ground, because Darren Milburn just had a message for the goal umpire, and the goal umpire said, "Hey Steve, he's back to me, Steve." And he gave him that one, and he's now in the corner with a dunce's hat. Turn it up. But anyhow, laws are laws. St Kilda 7-7-49 lead Geelong 7-1-43.
Well, we're just trying to weigh up at half-time who's got the greater rate of improvement. You'd have to say the Cats really haven't got their game going off half-back, so there's a fair bit of improvement for them to come there. Their ball use has been ordinary, to say the least. 177 disposals for the Cats. They normally average about 450 for a total game, so they're well down. There's a lot of upside left in the Cats. It's only a goal margin. It's scary when you can feel them coming. You can feel them coming.
Yeah, that's just the composure of St Kilda, though. I mean, and it's a little thing, but a coach in this circumstance can want to make sure he gets all his messages across and nearly over
complicate
things. Yeah, it's a hard word.
That's all right,
That's
mate.
a complicated word to say. But what happened? St Kilda have been out for 5 minutes. They came out early. They know their structure.
Exactly.
They know what they've done well. Their coaching, Ross Lyon and their coaching staff are confident. They know that the players have got the message. They've sent them out. Get prepared. Go and do what you've done in the first half and the second half, and we'll win this match. As you said, make it a marathon. And if they do exactly what they did in that first half, it's pretty hard to see Geelong getting back. Even though there's upside, the reason there's upside is because St Kilda have been able to break down Geelong's game, which very few teams have been able to do.
I reckon there's three things. Totally right about your structure and the faith that they've got in what Ross Lyon set up. The other thing is there's upsides that a lot of Geelong players haven't had an impact, but the downside of that is a lot of them physically haven't had a lot of continuous football, and are they as fit and can run this game out better than St Kilda? So, yeah, geez, the ups and downs. I think they came back in that second quarter at the 15-minute mark because, as I said, some of their warriors stood up. Can they do that long enough? They need support from the peripheral. Stevie Johnson, I'd throw him to the square now. Throw him down the full forward. Maybe he might be able to crumb a few, take another match up to go deep with him, and it causes maybe some change of the St Kilda defence. But, gee, they need a lift from a number. Varco, all those types of player. Burns has to lift. I thought Rook was they are under the pump, the Cats.
Let's go down to Scott Cummings for Painaway to check on the benches.
Thanks very much, Rex. The bench for this second half: Stephen King, Luke Ball, Farron Rain, his 100th game, and Stephen Milne. And for the Cutters, it's Travis Varco, Joel Corey, Mark Blake, and David Wojcinski. We're set to go. There's a great big dirty black cloud coming out this way, so
we are ugly. 60 minutes and 1 5-minute warning away from finding out who is going to take the prize this year. It's there for whoever wants it the most. It's as simple as that. St Kilda lead by a goal, and the umpire McBurney throws the ball in the air. The third quarter's underway as Otten's got it out with a hand pass to Selwood. A little scrunchy kick. That's all you can describe it at the half forward, and Xavier Clark came out. And it's not Xavier, it's his Raphael Clark. Clark with an E came out. He couldn't take it, and the umpire McBurney threw it in the air again. Otten's got a knockout. Selwood over the top. Might have been a high tackle, but again, the ball in contention for a ball up as now Bartel was besieged, and McBurney will throw it in the air again.
Steve Johnson didn't get a touch, but he came up from the forward line and actually got involved in that contest. We haven't seen that very often the first half. He's come out with some intent.
Fresh air shot by Goddard. Picked up the spill of the crumb, went to Selwood. Now Mackie cleverly got rid of Graham. Pulled off the footy, but he went to half forward. Burns couldn't take it, but it went to Stephen Johnson. The Bronx cheers as he kicked it inside 50. Don't speak too soon yet, because here comes a go. Gilbert in a bit of trouble. That's holding the ball, surely. The umpire said, no, it's not. And the ball is 28 metres out from the Geelong goal at the city end on the right half forward flank. Geelong trail by 6 points, and the umpire threw the football in the air. Hottens went in, knocked it out. Stevie Johnson got his second kick. It went down to Rook. Hand passed it back toward Johnson, but Baker kicked it out, and it's marked by Graham.
Baker's been great.
Virtually still in the back pocket, Jason Graham, as he kicks it short of the wing. Rebold is the target, almost the one-hander. Spills in front. Rebold goes again in the opposite direction as Kelly of Geelong. Got a hand pass across.
Oh, that is he's a shocker, you are.
What's going on?
It's a free kick to St Kilda is what's going on. It's to be taken by McWalter.
It was a tackle by McWalter. He actually pinned Kelly's right arm, and the ball came free as he came to ground, and that was the holding the ball.
Kicks beyond the wing this time, and it's pushed across the boundary line after it came off hands by Gary Ablett. Just 2 possessions in the second term for Lenny Hayes, who really set the tone early for the Saints, and gee, they needed him, because in the first 15 minutes, Geelong were dictating the terms. A boundary throw-in right at the interchange gates. Pits Ottens against Gardner. Gardner reaches over the top, knocks it down. Ablett goes after the football, uses Selwood as a decoy, then gets a kick away down towards half forward. Almost the mark to Mooney. Spills in front, taken by Dawson. Got a hand pass away to Clark. Plenty of cats around the football. In goes Fisher. Spills behind, taken by Burns. Wonderful hand pass from Mackie. Came across to Mooney. Bacon goal square. Ball skids across the face of goal and just rolls one revolution beyond the behind line. So St Kilda concede the first score of the second half and lead by 5 points.
Kingy, I just sense that Geelong are going to kick longer and kick quicker out of these clearance situations rather than run and carry. They're going the other way.
This is Snyder. He gets it out to Gilbert, and Gilbert takes a mark. He's on his left boot, right half-back flank, and he got it out just further to the right half-back flank. Goddard told to play on. Hand pass back to Gilbert. Kicked the long ball down towards Revolt. Punched away by Harry Taylor. Did it well. Ablett can't control it, but Kelly did. He threw it. The umpire said play on. Snyder got it across, and now it was Hayes who kicked it to the right half forward at the Punt Road end. Here comes Geelong. Now it's going to be Corey Enright. The hand pass across to Milburn, who got it out to Bartel. The 2007 Brownlow medalist got it onto the wing and on hands and knees. The ball went out and it was marked by Joel Selwood. So Selwood now trying to lift his team. A little chip kick, and here comes the brick. Scheisenhausen and Chapman. Chapman's taking the mark. Now they've got to build. Now they've got a stone wall, and he kicks a long ball to a wall of St Kilda defenders led by Sam Fisher. Punched away down there by Joe Blake. Over the boundary line and out of bounds on the left half forward flank at the city end. On the Great Southern Stand side, St Kilda in the 4th minute mark lead 7-7-49 to Geelong 7-2-44 by 5 points.
A lot of dark cloud. It's pretty gloomy at the MCG. Montagna could have been held without it. Hayes goes in. Hand passes directly towards the boat. Runs out right on the 50.
St Kilda have forced Geelong to consider at half-time what are they doing with their game plan. Geelong are going to kick their way through this second half. They're not going to run and carry and try and do it through these conditions and St Kilda's pressure as much. You can already see they're setting up to be leading players into space and long kicks rather than handball receivers.
After the boundary throw in, Enright got a hand pass across towards Ling. Socket off the ground by Gardner, only as far as Taylor. Taylor on the wing, then hand passes to Ling of Geelong. Ling unloads with a high left footer. It floats inside the forward 50. Back goes Mooney. Knocked away down there by Gilbert. Taking a high one was Goddard. He's down and hurt. Strong tackle.
That was his own man, wasn't it?
Friendly fire.
Yeah. Charging in there was Mooney to apply a strong tackle. Took a Saint defender down, and Goddard is still lying on his stomach. He's rolled over.
Stevie Baker got him. He's got some wickets, Stevie Baker, in his career, and he's just cleaned up a teammate who's been very, very important for them in the second term.
I think he's busted his nose there. You can see it on the big scoreboard. His nose is fairly enlarged.
It's an amazing thing. Somebody said friendly fire. Well, that's a bit like getting run over by an ambulance, isn't it? I mean, help is close at hand, but it doesn't make much difference.
I tell you, it's been brilliant, though, early in this quarter, because they've been under the pump. They've been inside 50 a bit, Geelong. I thought Sammy Fisher leaving his man, who's Rook, and getting a fist in a number of contests.
Coming off the ground now with that holding his nose. Just to try and stop the blood.
Oh, yeah, he got a nice one.
Laughing at that, but coming off, Farron Ray has come on to replace.
Been there, done that.
The old friendly fire, right, Dan? 29 to the 30 Marlborough men died of lung cancer. The 30th gave smoking away, went and got a medical checkup, came back, got run over by a truck. So that's karma. The ball now deep into attack for Geelong. Running through there was Hawkins, but it went to Joe Blake. Hand pass over the top to Zach Dawson. Ablett went behind the stick. It was a beautiful knock on by Burns to Ablett. And Geelong now bring it back to 4 points on the Clear Solar scoreboard. This seems to be going down to the wire, and it will be. The ball now out on the left half-back flank for St Kilda on the members' side, and Gilbert kicked a long ball to Dempster. Dempster can't take it. The ball in the hands of Kelly. Kelly hand pass to Milburn, and here comes Rockling. Rockling grabbed it. Now Geelong are out. They're out for Corey Enright, but Rockling didn't seem. The big hairy cat has marked it in the centre of the goal square. He wanted to push Gilbert. Mooney, get the hell out of there.
6 inside 50s, the first, 5 to 6 minutes of this quarter. And they just couldn't get numbers back. Yeah, that kicking thing is happening, Nathan, longer.
Goal to Mooney. 2 goals to the big hairy cat. And Geelong are back in front. Geelong 8-3-51. St Kilda 7-7-49. Clear Solar scoreboard. Big dark clouds form over the main scoreboard at the Westgate freeway in.
Well, they've put the whistle away, I reckon, the umpires. If there was a definite free kick on the wing there.
No, we just saw the replay.
Good contest.
Good contest.
Going at the ball.
They've paid that all year. A good contest. I like the whistle getting put away.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
We
I
wish
love the contest.
umpired like we say it every year, don't we? Umpire every game like it was.
It looked like it got arm contact, Kenny, but on the replay, I think you had to let those contacts go.
Margin is 2 points. Umpire tosses it up. Knocked down by King this time. Coming after the football. Ottens in the opposite direction with Schneider. Off the ball, Ablett getting involved with Jones. Bit going on. The umpires have to have eyes in the back of their head. McWalter now also having a bit to do with Kelly about 15 metres away. Throng of players around the footy. Umpire tosses it up again. Both sides had a third man up. So 6 in the air. It falls alongside Montagna. Throws a boot at it. Gets it down towards half forward. They came from everywhere. Milburn on his knees. Tries to hand pass it back. Spills wide at the pack. It's taken by Graham of St Kilda. Centering kick. Taylor. Revolt. Revolt just got rid of Taylor as the ball arrived. Taken the mark on his chest. You don't have to be here to see that in your mind's eye. If you've seen Nick Revolt play footy, it was just Nick Revolt as only he can. Wrestle, got some clearance, took the mark, and he'll kick from 15 metres out. Eric Banner's on his feet. The Hulk. Revolt should kick a goal. Should put his side back in front. Ball umpire goes a long way, but it's good. Saints, the quick reply. St Kilda 8-7. Geelong 8-3 on the Clear Solar scoreboard.
I reckon that is the play just to highlight how Geelong's defence is breaking down. That was a one-on-one. It was a high ball, and it remained a one-on-one for the best part of 4 seconds. Now, historically, the Cats have come off their men from everywhere. They've got back and supported. They've been able to intercept mark. They've been able to kill type spoils, kill it out of bounds or kill it through the points. As one remained all day, that'll break them down.
I'll tell you what that highlights is how effective Kazitsky's work is to drag Scarlett out of that area, because generally Scarlett would be there or Milburn would be there, as you've said, but great work structurally by St Kilda to affect that one-on-one and for Rewalt to finish it off.
Ball back in the centre, and here comes Blake over the top with ball. Blake Geelong, ball St Kilda, and the umpire Sean Ryan said give it to me, and Selwood is actually... No, he hasn't given away a free kick to Montana. It's getting very, very testy in there. Knocked out by Blake. It went to Joe Montana. Grabbed by Rock Ling. Ling brought it across his body for Geelong, and here comes Rook. Big, hairy Rook got it off to Varco, who tapped it on, looking for the big, hairy cat. Now it's going to be Zachariah Dawson. Get it off toward Jason Graham, out towards the wing. Lenny Hayes fell over. Tom Harley came through, but he went without the fill. Plants of the umpire. It stacks on the mill. And goodness gracious me, this is tough.
Montagna and Bartel head-to-head there. 50-50 contest.
2 inches off the deck.
Magnificent.
St Kilda by 4 points. We've gone nearly 11 minutes into the third term of this drenched grand final. The rain came down early. It's eased up now a little bit, and Lenny Hayes has been a star, and he's got a free possession. Gets it off to Jason Graham, who marked it, and standing the mark over there is Joel Corey in front of the Great Southern Stand on the true wing position. Here comes Revolt out in front of Harry Taylor. Revolt's taking the mark. The Roo turns around and spins this football to half forward, looking for Kachitsky. Go King! Oh, King dropped what he might have taken, and coming through Kelly. The ball off the top there. It went to Ball. Coming out Farron Ray. Stacks on the mill. Ball got a hand pass. It went out now towards Kachitsky. Kachitsky had a bit of a go, and it went behind the little stick to the right and out of play deep in the right forward pocket at the punt road into the stadium. St Kilda 8-7-55. Geelong 8-3-51. Clear Solar scoreboard.
Boundary throw in. A lot of body work in there. It comes down in front of the pack. Taken by Selwood with some time. Selwood, a looping hand pass. Joel Corey goes back against the flow. Still going. Bought himself some time. Hand passes across towards Ling, who stubs it towards the boundary.
They won't play it because the other umpire didn't. You know what? that's amazing. The umpire in control looked back to the umpire inside 50 and didn't make his own mind up. He was waiting for him to call it. Make your own mind up.
I tell you what, bring on Ray for that moment. He'd have paid 15.
No doubt.
Would have been a tough call, though. A lot of bodies between the player who was kicking the ball and the boundary. Stuffed it all on the ground. Well, yes, but a lot of movement too. Gee, he was under pressure. The ball's out of bounds.
Life's a tough call.
I know.
I had a bloke from Queensland ring me when you walked out on open line telling me he was broken. Could I help him out? I said no.
Well, there you go. 4 points the difference. Tossed in, knocked down in front. Chance to break away here for Selwood on his knees. Now that could be deliberate. Yes.
It's a cumulative free kick, that one.
Yeah, good on you, Kingy.
So a long ball by the Saints, and it was by ball in towards the half-forward line. And Revolt has marked it. 38 metres out on the right half-forward flank. It's a very acute angle, but good, solid players put these through. And at the moment, it's St Kilda by 4 points in the 14th minute of the third term. And Revolt bends over, wipes his left hand, wipes his right hand on the St Kilda emblem that he's bled for. He comes in and he kicks a long, long point. St Kilda a point. Geelong remain on 8.351 on the clear solar scoreboard. And St Kilda at 8.856.
Goddard back out onto the ground, broken nose. He's had it all plugged up, but he's back out there.
I tell you what, they're struggling again with these kick-ins. Forced to kick long. Suits St Kilda, you would think.
Milburn kicks outside the forward 50 of the opposition. Then it bounces. No one touched up the pack. It's going to be a free kick, and it's going to Hawkins.
That's the advantage of being in front. Now, St Kilda in front more often than not in the first half. 2 Geelong players in front of those contests. Both went to ground with holding. Draw the free kick.
Hawkins a long way up the ground from half back. Kicks it back inside the forward 50 for the Saints. Mark was taken by Milburn. Milburn, who conceded a double goal just before half-time, goes wide. The mark is taken by Selwood, told to play on. Kicks it very low, flat and hard up towards the wing. A test for the nose right there. The Schnoz stood up okay. Goddard, though, couldn't take the mark. He's got the football again. Fisher gave him a hand pass. Comes to Graham. They are running. Ball he hand passes to Montagna. 60 metres from goal down towards full forward. Harley got a fist on it, spills behind, trying to get through down there, Montagna.
Great smother.
And Revolt's kick was smothered by his marker, Harry Taylor, who threw himself defiantly across the boot.
That was huge.
Behind.
He's hurt himself too, Harry's hurt his right calf and that. He's just gone down and grabbed it, and he's not moving very well. He's up on his feet, be okay.
Scott Cummings for Payne away, St Kilda lead. 8.957 to Geelong, 8.351 now. Milburn kicked a long ball out towards the half-back line, and it's Graham. He took a mark and he kicked it forward. Here comes Montana. Montana now parks and plays on and kicks a long, long, long point.
Why don't you take his time?
A long point. St Kilda, 8 goals, 10.58. Geelong, 8 goals, 3.51. 7 points as a lead St Kilda enjoy on the clear solar scoreboard.
They've taken the speed out of the Cats game totally. They are becoming one possessional now, kicking long down the line.
Milburn kicked it to himself. Hand pass to Rockling. Hand pass to Kelly, who got it out to Wojcinski on the right half-back flank. So Wojcinski plays on. A long ball in towards the big hairy Cat. And Cam Mooney has got it. Cam Mooney get it off to Mackey, but he chose to go down towards Rock. Rock comes in. Gardner late on the tackle. Here comes Yao Gilbert. Gilbert got it off to Sam Fisher. He hand passed it off now, and this is Ball. Ball got it out to Zachariah Dawson. Here comes Wojcinski. Dawson, Wojcinski, boundary line ball, Milnova. It's tough, it's rugged, you wouldn't want it any other way. And St Kilda lead by 7 points into the 17th minute of the third term.
Boundary throw in then at the interchange gates. Otten's in front, very conscious of Gardner. Gardner goes up, wins it down, but straight to Bartel. His kick is floating towards the boundary. It bounces out. And we'll have a boundary throw in about 60 metres out from Geelong's attacking goal. They're going to the city end of the ground. And when you look back over this finals campaign, Geelong have played their best football early in terms. Some of their players can't go a full quarter. The others have got more to do, and it's showing again right here as the Saints are moving on them. In goes Ablett, spills down towards Ottens of all things. He was the man who tapped it down initially. Picked up by Ling, got it from Selwood. Kicks inside the forward 50. Going back is Chapman. He runs deep to the pocket, wheels around, pulls it across his body, and he's kicked a wonderful goal. A wonderful goal, Paul Chapman.
Wonderful play by Rook. Go on, Dennis.
Clyde Peters' goal of the day, Rex out of the forward pocket. Paul Chapman, wonderful off balance, kicked it across the body just when they needed it. They trailed by a point on the Clear Solar scoreboard. St Kilda 8-10-58, Geelong 9-3-57. Chapman has 2.
He is the best snap over his shoulder in the competition. When he got that space, he was always going to be able to find somewhere to go to get himself a half a step to snap that ball over his left shoulder. That was great play, as you said, Rex, by Max Rook to be able to put it in that space, and then for Chapman to do what he does best.
A wonderful grand finals. The ball knocked out over there by Gardner. It went to Clinton Jones. He kicked it deep onto the right half forward flank in front of the Great Southern stand at the punt road end, and taking it over the boundary line and out of bounds is Adam Snyder.
Milburn's been good for Geelong.
Yeah. He has been wonderful. Graham Bond.
19 disposals, 6 contested possessions for Darren Milburn.
St Kilda lead by a point at the punt road into the stadium. The right half forward flank at the Great Southern stand end side. It was knocked out over there by Ottens and went to Yablett. Ablett kicked it down onto the wing, and there's got to be a free kick against Dawson going to the big hairy cat.
No doubt, Rex. Just slung him around in the contest. Easy free kick for the umpire.
Cameron Mooney takes the ball. It shines from its wetness from the Aqua Pure falling here today. A long ball down to Stevie Johnson. Right over the top. Farron Ray had went out there to Chapman. The brick Scheisenhausen is there. So too is Baker. Baker got it to Raphael Clark, who got it to Gilbert, who had a fresh air shot. Kicked off the ground over there by Clark. It went out to Graham. This is St Kilda. Dawson got a hand pass across to Gardner. In a bit of trouble as Goddard. And the umpire said play on. He said play on. Goddard's nose is across the side of his eyebrow. Picked up by Clinton Jones. Here comes Harley. This is where Guts comes into it. Selwood got it off Yablett. Yablett broke the tackle. Ablett ran to 50. Yablett behind the stick. Behind the stick. And it's all tied up on 58 points each of 2. St Kilda 8-10. Geelong 9-4. 58 points. Geelong and St Brand final, a classic.
He's in the wars, Brendan Goddard. He's come off the ground now holding his right collarbone. He's been crunched in that tackle, fallen on the elbow, which has pushed his collarbone up straight down in the rooms.
Raph Clark kicks in, just a high ball outside the 50, punched down in front. Rook a half chance, spills across to Chapman. Chapman long back towards full forward. Any score for the lead? It's bounced out of bounds.
Rook's been brilliant, Dennis. You called him then. He has been brilliant.
I tell you what's happening. They're breaking the tackles of St Kilda now. The tackles aren't sticking.
Boundary throw in alongside the behind post at the city end. Scores a level. Ottens goes up, knocks it down. Loose ball. Burns tries to pick it up, confronted there by Ball. And Ball is taken to the ground by Ottens for Europe Carl. Luke Ball, Bondi.
Luke Ball's afternoon, Dennis. 16 disposals, 9 contested and 5 clearances.
They've stopped finessing. That's why, Kingy. Geelong aren't worried about the run and carry as much, so they've got stronger bodies because they know what they're doing with the ball. They're going to sink the boot into it.
Gardner does exactly that. Down goes Selwyn. Didn't appear to have the ball. Couldn't get a free kick, though. Comes across to Graham from Hayes. Only as far as Harley. Harley tries to track it back inside the 50. Then a wall of Saints coming in the opposite direction. Spills out towards Revolt after the ricochet, and the ball goes out towards the boundary and is out of bounds.
Atlas Living. Stevie J coming off, come out.
Yeah, he's coming straight off the ground now. Isn't that a big impact? Tomahawks coming on for him. Tommy Hawkins, Stephen Milne having a spell, and Dennis McQualter coming back on.
Thank you very much. I think it's Andrew. The ball now spinning back into play. Spinning. It went out to Rockling. He tried to get a hand pass and it was Rockling over there. And Dennis McQualter will be listening today. And Camo just gave you a mention there, Dennis.
Good on you, Rexy.
Thank you very much. So a beautiful crowd here today. A black day, only weather-wise. This is great for the game all over the world. And we are being joined in all parts of the globe, from the United Kingdom to Turkey to Ireland to California, Siberia, Greenland, and we've got listeners on Mud Island.
Close to the boundary line. Enright doesn't really try to keep it in. We'll have a throw in.
I tell you what, King, you're talking about breaking tackles, and you're right, but I think also the Geelong body strength is just coming in this game. They're standing up in the tackle at the contest, and that's having an influence too. They can clear the ball a bit better by hand and then kick long forward.
Thrown in. Gardner goes up, got a hand to it. Hayes was bundled out of the contest. A chance now for Gall. He went to ground, got a hand pass wide, slides along the turf again. Socket off the ground by Gardner. Very adept at doing that. Pushed across the line by Milburn. Ditto. Very adept at doing that. And this has got a look of Siberia about it, this ground at the present time. Dark black clouds hanging over and the threat of hail later in the day. We had a bit of hail this morning.
Must be horrible for you guys up there.
It's going to get rougher. Terrible, it's going to get rougher. We're not enjoying it now. It's going to get rougher, Scotty, as the ball goes out of bounds right half forward. We'll have a throw in. Saints attacking in, and this game just in the balance. They played a thriller back in round 14. That was under the closed roof at Etihad Stadium. What a contrast today, and the elements of the MCG, the decider, and nothing has changed. They've given us over 6 quarters of remarkable football. In goes Harley, applies a strong tackle, and the ball will be balled up.
The signal, or I suppose the measure of Geelong's ability to stabilise this game is in the inside 50s. They've gone forward 9 times. St Kilda just 7 this quarter. And after the dominance that St Kilda had, that's a big difference.
58 points each of two, St Kilda and Geelong. This is ball right half forward, kicked it towards the half forward line. Dempster, but Corey Enright went up and took a good mark, and off the side of the boot it will be marked over there by Chapman. Chapman's got Mackey if he wants him, and Mackey will come out onto the half back line, allow it to bounce. He'll play it on in front of himself. Here comes Baker. Baker did wonderfully well. Got a hand pass across to Sam Fisher. Good support there from Gilbert. This is Milburn. Hand pass. He needed Kelly to come towards him. Mackey used the big hip and shoulder. Out of play. Beautiful play by Milburn, who comes off, and Blake goes on and bound to Scott Cummings for pain away.
And Graham coming off as well. Montagna on. Wojcinski back on for Kelly.
So the ball now spinning, throw the bloody thing, spinning back into play. Here it comes, Gardner. The ball now knocked out by Joe Montana. Stevie J broke the tackle. Got a hand pass. It was meant for Joel Corey. Turn over to Baker. Baker got it to Joe Montana, who pocketed on towards half forward. Here comes Harley. He was taken about. Plants at the umpire. The umpires have realised it's wet. Now McQualter. McQualter gets it out towards Graham. McQualter and Graham. It went off to Graham, kicked a long ball down towards the goal square, punched away from Kaczynski, leading to the race for the ball is 30 metres out. Tackled by Scarlett. Ball says Skies paid it.
No doubt.
What a wonderful tackle by the hairy Scarlett.
Chapman in the hands of a trainer there. It's all about hands.
Yep, he's just popped a finger and he's just trying to put it back in himself.
He popped it on McGuire's
on his head.
That's right, straight in the mush. So the ball is out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in on the wing.
Just having a look at that contest then when Rewalt was running across the ground. Taylor really labouring. You mentioned at Camo that he looked like he had a sore calf, but the last quarter be very interested to see how dangerous Rewalt becomes as his opponent starts to struggle.
Game is deadlocked. It's thrown in on the outer side. Trying to knock it away was Blake. It bounced back to him. He kicks it down towards Shedder half forward. Mooney in front. Crumbs come to Barco. Barco's hand pass not particularly good. In goes Graham of St Kilda. Hand passes to Dawson. Oh, a strong tackle. Wojcinski holding the ball. Dawson hasn't had the best of afternoons. Wojcinski will take this kick from directly in front. It'll take a very good kick from here.
He is a very good kick. He's a long kick of the ball. If he wants winds himself up, he can go the distance here, and this is a big moment. These are the sort of kicks that get you going, that drive you into a scoring spree. This is a massive moment, this.
So Wojcinski scores level at 58. Geelong looking for their 10th goal. 9-4 to 8-10. Just under 4 minutes remain in the term. Wojcinski's kicks a shocker off to the right-hand side, off hands, and out of bounds in the pocket.
Now, danger here. Otten's in the ruck. Normally very, very good with his setups here up against, I think it's King, is it?
Yep.
So the two big bodies go head-to-head here. Look out for Ablett. And look out for Corey and someone to shepherd off.
Ottens and King lock horns like two stags. The ball came out towards Joe Blake, and the ball came from Jones back to Blake, who hand passed it to Graham and Lenny Hayes. It went out to Wojcinski. He copped one on hands and knees down there. Gardner, he can't take it. Knocked on to Corey by Rock Ling. It went out to Corey Enright. Rock Ling copped one. Stacks on the mill.
Well done.
This is just great play. The two best teams in 2009 are battling out a cliff-hanging, ball-tearing, fantastic game. 58 points each of two. St Kilda and Geelong. 3 minutes 20 to the last siren. The three-quarter time siren. Stevie Johnson got it to Ablett. Ablett hand pass back to Stevie Johnson. Burns went up, but beautiful mark in defence has been taken down there by Baker.
Well done.
Baker across the front of goal end, just chipping it to Fisher. Fisher alongside the goal square. Now it's been spilt by Gill, but it wouldn't have been 15 anyway. Ottens is over the football, tries to give it to Varco, locked in by Fisher. Eventually it spills towards the boundary and goes out, and a half chance. And that's all it was. It was desperate defence by the Saints, but they made the initial blunder.
Ottens here could have kicked it off the ground. You've got to take your chances, haven't you? It's pretty hard in these wet conditions to bend over, pick it up, and try and do something with it.
Del Santo, a hand pass to a man standing alongside Dawson, who immediately was into the arms of Rook.
They don't want to surge the ball out of this stoppage here, the Saints. They're trying not to just kick it straight back to Geelong at the top of 50, taking a few risks.
Selwood runs to the pack, not required. Taken cleanly away by Hayes, who started brilliantly. 11 possessions in the opening term. Kicks very wide. Revolt leads in the race, and the ball runs out of bounds. Revolt putting it to Taylor now. Just watching them run back to their positions. Taylor is labouring.
That is a good pickup, Dennis. He looks like something's wrong, maybe a groin or something, but that is going to be a danger matchup in the last quarter.
Light rain tumbling down again, and it was King who knocked it out, but Stevie J got a knock on toward Chapman, who got a hand pass to Selwood. Selwood hand pass to Blake. Blake got a hand pass back to Stevie J. He's in a bit of trouble. That's holding the ball.
Great tackling pressure.
Without a doubt, it's holding the ball.
That's gang tackling at its best. 4 and 5 Saints players crashing in, not giving an inch.
So the ball will be taken. The free kick given to Nick Del Santo.
Right.
He's got a little. I thought it was Del Santo. Sorry, now here's Ray. Ray's got it. I'll think ahead. I'm thinking of next year I'll be fishing. The ball came out to Gilbert. Gilbert in the centre of the ground gets it out to Raphael Clark. Clark has marked it 75 metres out. He runs to half forward and kicks a long spinning ball down to Cozzy and Revolt. It went out through the hands of Kaczynski. This is Milne, the blowfly, taken by Bartel over the boundary line and out of bounds with 1:36 on the clock to the last change. St Kilda 8:10:58. Geelong 9:4:58. Clear Solar scoreboard.
Boundary throw in. King and Blake, old teammates, battle. It falls to Montagna, and Montagna has kicked the Clive Peters goal of the day. Deep in the pocket, Lee Montagna was doing, had some separation, took some time, and St Kilda got a 9:10:64. Geelong a 9:4:58. That's on the Clear Solar scoreboard. Scotty, what about that win now? We're going to three-quarter time. It does seem to have backed around just a bit.
Yeah, it has just a bit. It's not as strong as it was early in the game. It's just a lot more blustery now, so it is not so definitely going towards the city end like it was earlier on. Brendan Goddard Goddard's come back out onto the ground. He's got his arms above his head, so the collarbone's okay. He's got his face taped up very, very similar to the way Chris Judd was that day at Etihad Stadium. He's going to have troubles breathing, BJ, but he's back out there.
And he told his players how long to go in the quarter.
A wonderful pressure goal by Montana puts St Kilda in front by 6 points. Ball, says the crowd, and the umpire says yes, it certainly is. It's going to go to Goddard. Goddard looking like the elephant man with the tape across his nose. He gets it out to Farron Ray. We've got 1:13 to go before three-quarter time. Could they get another one? Here comes Milburn. Thumped it away, and it's gone behind the stick. St Kilda by 7 points on the clear solar scoreboard. They go now to 9:11.65. Geelong a 9:4.58. And that is on the clear solar scoreboard as Stevie Johnson marks at centre half back at the punt road end. Here comes Ablett, and Ablett's taken the mark and kicks a long ball down towards Rook. Rook goes up, punched away by Sam Fisher, went out to Chapman. Varco ran onto it. Varco's got no left foot, and he kicks it forward. Burns goes up. Tackled Varco on Blake. It went out to Zach Dawson. They did it wonderfully well. And here comes Montana.
Around the outer side he goes, then being pursued by Ottens. Montana elects to kick down towards Revolt. He spilt the mark, tries to hand pass to Raph Clark. He's tackled, he's over the football. Over the top of him comes Steve Johnson. And the umpire has decided
free kick
to pay a free kick to Johnson against Raph Clark holding the ball. So Johnson on the outer side, not a factor this afternoon. The Norm Smith medalist of 2007. We're down to 7 seconds. The siren may sound before he kicks it. He takes on Revolt on the mark, runs past him, not knowing how much time is left. He kicks to Varco. Now Varco's marked 60 metres out.
Not paid.
No. Ball in flight. Okay. Three-quarter time. Check that score on the clear solar scoreboard. It's St Kilda 9:11.65. Geelong 9:4.58. Everything to play for.
Oh, it comes down to this. It comes down to 30 minutes of frantic football where every error will go on the scoreboard. This has been a wonderful battle, and it's been an absolute battle. It's been a contest everywhere it's gone. It's been like a rolling spotlight just on every little contest. So critical. It's been amazing. That goal that the umpire paid, the extra goal against Melbourne in the second quarter, is going to be no doubt a factor.
It's nearly as important as Tommy Hawkins' goal that actually hit the post. So there's a fair few little decisions, and that's what happens in these games, aren't they? They're highlighted, but there's no doubt Geelong have changed the way they've played. I thought in the last part of that quarter that St Kilda adapted and started dropping some players off the contest. Geelong have to adapt to that. They've got to make sure that if they're going to quick kick, they've got to be 1-on-1 in front of the footy. They've got to be able, and if they do that, we know that St Kilda are going to have space in their forward line because they've rolled up. It's going to make Rewalt dangerous, Kazitsky dangerous. So a lot of tactical battles that'll take place, but in the end, you put your head over it and you want it more. The team that does that's going to win.
It's not raining at the moment, but it looks really, really threatening over the top of the scoreboard. The TAC scoreboard that shows St Kilda at three-quarter time in the 2009 Grand Final are in front by 7 points. St Kilda 9:11.65 lead Geelong 9:4.58. For St Kilda, Snyder has kicked 2, and for Geelong, Mooney and Chapman have kicked 2 apiece. We welcome our relays right across Australia and our people listening through 3w.com.au, through Turkey, Ireland, California, Siberia, through northern China, through Greenland, through Spain, California, United Kingdom, Paris, and the list goes on, Rome and Prague. This is in Australia, 3AW Football.
Port Adelaide Chief Executive. Well, how are you getting on? Because suggestions around the place are if you don't get on all that well.
Complete rubbish. Choco and I get on extremely well. We've had some awkward moments during the year as we look at full throttle forward now and enjoying working together and really focused on a big year for 2010.
The 5AA Sports Show with Graham Corns and Stephen Rowe.
It's a whole new ball game.
Back Monday afternoon from 4. 13.95. Adelaide's 5AA.
Who's most likely to give you a great deal on a ute that lets you play as hard as you work?
Ford, of course. Right now, ABM buys pages 32,990 drive away for the awesome Falcon XR6 Ute, including 17-inch alloy wheels, sports suspension, 5-speed automatic and more. Plus, if you're eligible for the government's 50% investment allowance, you could save even more. So who's most likely to give you a great Ute deal? Ford, of course. See your dealer today. Recommended offer price on pre-August vehicles. ABM buys at participating dealers. Talk to your tax advisor to determine eligibility.
G'day, it's Rex. The footy's almost over, but there's one team still working hard, and that's Mitsubishi Electric Diamond Dealers. They're tops for air conditioning design and installation. Clear favourites to help you beat the summer heat. For a first-class performance when installing an air conditioning system for your home, back the winning team at Mitsubishi Electric. Log on to MitsubishiElectric.com.au. Mitsubishi Electric Diamond Deal, experts in air conditioning design, installation and service. Mitsubishi Electric, magnificent.
Heading off in the four-wheel drive for the long weekend? Make sure you prepare with a trip to ARB Elizabeth. The best quality accessories, servicing and repairs. Cooper and BF Goodrich tyres. A fit-out to prepare for a trip or just honest advice. For anything and everything four-wheel drive, ARB Elizabeth are the people to see. Experience, knowledge and the right advice. Make sure you check out ARB in the old RAA building on Elizabeth Way or log on to arbelizabeth.com.au.
Can you get the door, Pumpkin? I'm reading the sports section.
Sure can, honey bunny. Just a minute. I wonder who it could be. Why, honey, the milk is here.
But Alfred doesn't deliver till Tuesday.
For old-fashioned, great-tasting milk the way it used to be, choose the Flurio Milk Company. GM-free, direct from the farm to you. The Flurio Milk Company. Great-tasting milk the way it used to be. From selected IGA and Foodland locations. Or Google Flurio Milk.
Yeah, sure, I didn't get the air compressor and nail gun, and yeah, the job might run over a few days, weeks, but I'm a traditionalist. Remember when things were handcrafted? The smack of a hammer on a 4x2? Besides, these blokes get it too easy these days.
Someone should have called Coates Hire. They're the equipment hire experts. They've got all your tools and equipment needs, and they'll make sure you've always got the right gear for every job. Go on, give Coates Hire a call on 13 15 52.
This is Saturday Finals Footy Live on Adelaide's #1 football station, 5AAFL.
Footy highlights for Ryco Filters. Keep it clean with Ryco Filters.
They're out for Corey Enright, the big hairy cat. Goal to Mooney.
Centering kick. No. Revolt should put his side back in front. Saints the quick reply. Going back is Chapman. Pulls it across his body. And he's kicked a wonderful goal.
Throw the bloody thing.
Pulls to Montagna. That's right. Straight in the bush.
St Kilda by 7 points. We've got 30 minutes to go in this grand final, in this season, which has been magnificent. 30 minutes to just see who wants it the most. The reason to climb the mountain is to get on top and say, we are the champions. The heavens open up as the rain teams down at the MCG, and Gardner went up. The ball now back into the little circle, and the umpire will throw it in the air again. This is torrential rain at the MCG. The ball knocked out by Gardner, went out to Ablett, picked up by Hayes. Here comes Rockling. The ball now spills clear for Corey. Joel Corey to half forward, kicks it down to Rook. Rook nearly marked it. Varco played it on in front of himself. He went for Chapman. Now is Raphael Clark. Tackled over there was Graham by Varco, but Graham got a kick outside 50. Now running onto the ball there is Corey Enright. Hand past it. Can Milburn do it? He kicked a worm burner inside 50 towards Hawkins. The ball's over the boundary line. Left half forward flank. It's as black over the top of this stadium. Go on now.
Got a match up on this wing. Jason Graham against Darren Milburn. Perhaps two of the better players to their opposition. Important in this last quarter, no doubt.
St Kilda lead by 7 points in the grand final. Chapman to Hawkins. Hawkins double take. He put his hands was up, but fortunately they were flat. The ball came forward, otherwise it would have gone through. He's taken the mark. And kid, I know you've just stopped squeezing pimples, but this is the moment, son.
No doubt. And well done to Gary Ablett off the ball. He shepherded for Chapman, allowing to have the space, and great vision by Chappie in the corridor.
The man they named the Tomahawk, the son of Jumping Jack Hawkins, runs through 50, runs to 47 and kicks it. Goal! He's kicked a goal! I'm so happy for that kid. He's worked so hard, Hawkins. Bob Davis is on the screen smiling. This is the future of football. These beautiful young kids like Hawkins. And he's put his team within a point.
You can't beat composure from key players in big games. They haven't had much of the ball today, but Chapman, what he's done's been class. They need now a little injection again. They were on top of the last couple of clearances. Get Gary into the game, or Bartel into the game for a 5 or 10 minute patch, and they'll win this. They'll be the greatest side we've seen for a number of years, but the class now rises to the top.
Saints by a point. That was a gentle kick that just kept going, which gives me the impression perhaps that is the scoring end now. Looking at those flags, they seem fully extended. Well, Scotty has said they can be deceptive. After the bounce, Hayes is getting a free kick alongside the centre circles. Has drifted out of the game since his early first-term brilliance. Kicks inside the forward 50. Could have almost been a Saints free kick down to Kaczynski. Taken by Kelly. Hand passes to Blake. Blake clears the zone to Geelong. Bartel. Wonderful concentration, Jimmy Bartel. Now, the last team to win a grand final, if my memory serves me correctly, trailing at three-quarter time, would have been the Bombers back in 84. Mark Thompson, a member of that team, if I'm correct. Kick goes down towards half forward. Cats on the move. All Saints behind the ball though. Picked up by Gilbert. Gives a hand pass across to Blake. Blake a hand pass back to Gilbert. They need to be precise. The kick is good, and he finds Dawson at centre half back.
Great composure by Gilbert there. They were able to spread and give the ball carrier options. Good play by St Kilda.
Zach Dawson has got it. He kicked a long left-footed kick out to a lead of Revolt. This is Leonard Hayes. He kicked it off the side and it went down to centre wing Enright over the top of Montana. Montana nearly did enough to mark it. The ball over the boundary line and out of play. Graham Bond.
St Kilda have won the first 3 quarters of the game. No side has ever won a grand final and a premiership winning at just 1 quarter of football.
Well, records are made to be broken. St Kilda in front by 1 point. Geelong challenging. Geelong looking to just get their second premiership in 3 years. St Kilda their first in 43 years. The ball to half forward and knocked away from Revolt. This is Corey Enright, who's been wonderful. You can't penalise him, umpires. It went out to Milburn. He's been wonderful as well. He kicked a spiral punt off the left boot out towards the interchange bench, and it's over right in front of Scott Cummings as the rain is cleared for Painaway.
Right, still just coming down just a smidge. Rex Mark Blake comes off. Brad Otten's back on. These guys are absolutely exhausted, but not one of them is lying down. This is what it's about.
St Kilda by a point. Boundary throw in at the interchange gates. Ottens and Gardner, as they've done all day. Battle again. Gardner first hand of the ball. Clever by Johnson. Deflected it across to Bartel. As a result, the man who got the football was Ablett. He was through, well, almost. Grabbed. Wojcinski takes his hand pass. Kicked down towards full forward. Thumped away by Fisher. And it's out of bounds in the pocket. 65 St Kilda, 64 Geelong on the TAC scoreboard. Boundary throw in, left full forward at the city end of the ground, or rather the pump road end of the ground, the end to which Geelong are going. And generally in this game, the opening minutes of a term have been their best. Again, they're pushing. Gilbert gets a hand pass. Montana was taken down, and the umpire, I think, will ball it up 25 metres out from goal directly in front.
That was a good decision by the umpire, because Ottens, it looked like he took it out of the ruck, but it fell in the his hands.
The umpire threw it in the air. Overrunning the ball, Wojcinski. This is Bartel, and it went to Wattens. His underground hand pass picked up by Corey Enright on the left boot. It went out to Hawkins. Hawkins nearly marked it. It went to Raphael Clark. His hand pass underground went out towards the half-back line, and Barco got a hand pass off to Milburn. Milburn on the right half-forward flank of the punt right into the stadium. Gets it down to the big hairy cat. Punched away by Gilbert. Gilbert now keeps it in play. He's got no right foot. Hand pass to Graham. Graham now goes back, and Rook went over the top of him. This is Lenny Hayes. Hand pass to Nick Del Santo. Del Santo kicked it outside 50, and this is Revolt. Revolt trying to lift his side. Brought it around his body. Got it down to Kozzy. Kaczynski over the top of the ball is Scarlett. Scarlett got him. Plants to the umpire. This is Harry Taylor. It stays in. He did well. He got it off to Corey Enright. Enright kicked a long ball down towards the big hairy cat. Mooney goes up. Can't take it. St Kilda are out at Dawson. Can get it across. It was Goddard. There's a bit of a go now in problem Joe Blake. It went out to Raphael Clark. This is tough. Rook was tough. It came in. Johnson pushed in the back. Clark comes through. Here comes Hayes. It's real clear for Baker. St Kilda off the half-back flank with magnificent defence.
All cats on the wing as the kick comes out, but it's coming back. Burns has got it, goes short to Ablett. Closing down there is Jones, and Jones did very well. All around Ablett in that contest were cats. And Jones, knowing that, got it out of bounds.
Oh, that was a bad option by Burns. He went to Ablett. We know he's a great player. Tommy Hawkins behind Ablett. Sometimes the better players suck it out of you.
Boundary throw in. Again, they wrestle. This time it's King and Ottens. It falls wide of the pack. King pursues his own ball. He's got it at right half back. He kicks it back towards the wing. Big lead, Kaczynski. Oh, he stifled the ball, took the air out of it. Strong grab from the wing. Kicks it down towards the attacking 50. Terrible kick up the side of the boat. Revolt, though. Had it knocked away by Harley. Gathered by Kelly. Taken across the line by Milne. And we'll have a boundary throw in. A point the difference. St Kilda lead the grand final.
They haven't got a match up here for Revolt. He's worked over Taylor. He's done. Mackey's gone to him now. Harley saved the day a moment ago.
We're into the 8th minute of play in the last term. It's St Kilda by the barest of margins. 1 point. It went through the hands of Lean to King. King of St Kilda kicked it forward towards Revolt. The ball went out to Mackey. Got it up to Joel Corey. Corey now got it on looking for Kelly, who hand passed it back to Corey, who kicked it. Leading in the race for the ball out towards the half-back flank is Mooney. On hands and knees, he hand passed it. Goddard cleverly tapped it on towards Zach Dawson. He got it back to Farron Ray, who brought it around his body towards Snyder. Plown said the umpire. Dempster right over the top of Harley. Harley Dempster the ball there. Rockling can't get it. Stacks on the mill in right. It's tough, it's rugged, it is a great game. And the ray of sunshine comes from the west as this stadium is alive. St Kilda by a point.
Thank you, Rex. That was my introduction, I'm sure. It comes down towards Wojcinski. Wojcinski finds his way through and half-back kicks it out towards the wing. Burns leads in the race, pursued by Raph Clark. Burns goes onto his right foot, wants his left, cuts back inside. Chapman is free. Chapman takes the mark, 70 metres from goal. Hawkins calls for it, but he's trying to lob the ball. Johnson goes back, ball over his right shoulder, grabs it, kicks across the face of goal. It runs free in the opposite pocket. After it goes Rook. Great desperation, threw himself at the football. His desperation was matched by Fisher. Fisher slaps it outside the defensive 50. Bartel tries to control it. It's like a piece of soap. Grabbed by Fisher. High ball back to the away. Opportunity now for Corey. He slings it across towards Ottens. It comes back towards Selwood. Dempster on top of Selwood, picked up by Milne. He heads for the boundary. As deliberate as you like, but it was so clever. We'll have a boundary throw in.
Ablett back on the ground, Milburn having a spell, Snyder back on for the Saints, Goddard coming off, and Jones back on to take up...
Dennis, I've heard of turning yourself on, but you just turned yourself off. That was a change. The ball now spinning back play. It went out to King. This is ball. The crowd chants and Kilda, but Mackey says, yeah, I'll chant Geelong. He kicked it back towards Graham. Graham goes up, can't take it, but Zach Dawson did. Got it off the ball, and now they're out with Baker, with Snyder. Schneider marks it at centre half forward. He gives a sharp on Darley. Schneider comes in and kicks it behind the stick. It's 2 points of difference.
They've got to get this in quick, Rex. They've had trouble with the kick-ins. I know they're all tired, but as soon as they set up, it's hard to do it.
It's 2 points of difference. St Kilda at 9-12-66. Geelong at 10-4-64. Light rain is now still falling as Mackie brought it out to the half-back line on the members' side. Wojcicki goes up, but Graham has taken a wonderful mark. A wonderful mark by Graham, but he's too far out to score. He's 68 metres out on the right half forward flank at the city end. It is St Kilda by 2 points.
He's a long kick normally. This will test the defence. He sends the high ball in. They come from all directions. It spills behind the pack. A half chance for Mill. Nothing doing. Picked up down there by Blake. Blake kicks it outside the defensive 50. Socked forward by Chapman. Tracks it around the outer side. Sockers it again. Tracked back by Raf Clark. Needs to be careful here. Burns going with him step for step. Third mouse got the cheese. Gathered on the outer side. Good pressure though from Chapman. Forced the error from Gilbert. He kicked it out of bounds on the full. Geelong ball.
What Geelong have been able to do is just force it their way. And St Kilda not able to turn it around often enough.
Johnson dropped an easy mark. Goes after the football. Farron Ray though snatches it away from him. Kicks it down towards half forward. Clever by Schneider. Knocked it forward. Taken by Jones. Kicks inside the forward 50. Scarlett did tremendously well. Knocked it away. Revolt hanging back off the pack. A strong tackle by Mills.
Cannot believe the change. Mackey's just come off the field. The ball was going forward. Revolt was on his own. Harry Taylor now moving across after Corey had taken Revolt instead.
Now the ball came. Schneider is being held. Wasn't seen. Goodness me, that was the most blatant free kick this year. And back to the centre wing, and this is Zach Dawson. Goodness me, Schneider was being held. The ball on the left boot now. Dawson kicked a long ball down towards half forward, and Harley went back. It picked up by Milne. He fell over. Harley's got him, and the umpire will cross himself and put it down midway between the left half forward and the left forward pocket at the city end. We've gone now into the 13th minute, and St Kilda by 2 points. Knocked out by Gardner to ball, and the umpire will put the football in the air again.
Exhausted Jimmy Bartell just dragging himself off the ground. Milburn back on.
You can hear us around the world at Casey Station, Antarctica, Athens, Greece, Thailand, Mauritius, the Gobi Desert in Mongolia, Toulouse in France. And neither of these sides wants to do exactly that. We've had a ball up, and the umpire will do it again.
They might lose in Australia, though.
It requires a bit of bravery here from the umpires. If the decisions are there, pay them.
You've got to pay them. That was blatant on Schneider a few moments ago. What a finish. We've got another ball up. These players out on their feet. Not the first time we've said that this afternoon, let alone this season. It's been a remarkable season. It deserves a fitting end, and I think we're going to get it. Who knows? We could be back here next weekend. It's knocked around the boundary line by Kelly. It's out of bounds and will be thrown in. 9-12 St Kilda. 10-4 Geelong. Saints by 2 points on the TAC scoreboard, and for the moment we have some sunshine, and out to our right it seems to be clearing remarkably well.
10.5 minutes to go in this season, unless there's a draw. Selwood knocked it onto Joel Corey, who hand passed it wonderfully well to Varco. Varco down onto the centre wing looking for Mooney. Good pressure down there by Dawson, and it's over the boundary line. It was as deliberate as you like. That was about as subtle as the kick in the old reproductive zone.
Coliolis.
And the ball now spinning back into play, and Gardner knocked it out and went to Jones. Jones on his right hand pass got it to Zach Dawson. Now he's on his left boot and he kicks a long spinning ball out towards Revolt. Revolt goes up. He can't get it. Now coming in is Blake. The ball spills clear on the right half back flank on the southern stand side. Picked up by Taylor and went to Enright and went to Kelly. This is Joel Corey who marked it to Blakey. Blake hand passed over the top to Wojcicki. Rockling did it well. Wojcicki came through, bounced it.
They paid it. Holding the ball. Did he have him?
I don't think he did. I don't think he did.
Geez, they're in the middle. They've got players free in the centre. He hasn't looked inside yet.
Correct decision by the umpire, Ryan. The umpire, Rosebery, sorry. And the ball came out to the left half-back flank on the Great Southern stand side. Now this is Raf Clark. Got it across there toward Jones. Jones, a long ball to Revolt. He nearly got it. Dempster's kicked a long point. They can't knock him out. There's 9.5 minutes to go. 9.5 minutes of guts and determination. Every ounce of energy is required for St Kilda or Geelong to win this flag. At the moment, St Kilda lead by 3 points.
An eternity to play. Milburn kicks it to himself, drives it around the outer side. Saints have got 4 on 2 out there.
Gary.
But one of the two, Gary Ablett, takes a terrific mark.
The big issue for Geelong is that they're not fresh. Everyone's knackered. They're going to need something special like that from Ablett to be able to get forward.
Kicks it down towards the wing. Burns with pace. Gets away from Raph Clark, who's 50. It used to be 50. It would have been handy there. It was a timely free kick given up by Clark. Because of that, it might be back next year. It goes to Scarlett. Short one intended for Chapman. Bounce wide of the target. In goes Ray for the Saints. He paddles the ball out towards the boundary line. Selwood left in his wake. Held by one arm. Ablett was clever. Selwood tries to knock it forward as the kick came in his direction. Down goes Gilbert. Is that holding the ball? It was a
that is intentional.
Montagna goes for the boundary with the kick. And the umpire McBurney, has not been afraid to pay them this afternoon. Pays a free kick for deliberate. Mackey wasting no time. Kicks inside the forward 50. It's taken by Fisher.
And out towards a half-forward line now. Mackey went up. He can't get it. Joel Corey kicked it a half forward. This is Bartel. Tackled by Dempster. Bartel broke the tackle. Mooney. He can't get it. Running on hands and knees. Plants to the umpire. Stacks on the mill. Last man standing. Who wants it the most? With 8 minutes to go, St Kilda lead by 3 points.
That's the second time. The tallest bloke in the field has bent over and tried to pick it up off the ground when it's nearly stationary. Sink the boot into it and score. Give yourself a chance to kick a goal.
Knocked out by Ottens. Stacks on the mill. Talk now, for God's sake.
This is Desire now, Rex. They're out on their feet. The toughest side mentally will win this game.
The ball thrown in the air. It's in the goal square for the Geelong. Knocked out by Hayes towards ball. This is Corey Enright. Kicks it forward. Wojcinski, was marked by Graham. Play on. Went out the ball. Play on, said the umpire.
Oh, he did it again.
He dived on the football. And the umpire said, give it to me. With 7 3/4 minutes to go in the 2009 Grand Final.
That time he had a pack between him and the ball.
By 3 points.
Give yourself a chance. Chapman does. Chapman misses. He socked off the ground. There was nobody between he and the goal. And he hangs it out to the right. Well, Saints have missed a few. This ball just popped up nicely for Chapman, who was cruising past the pack. It was almost a drive-by goal, but he missed.
Big clearance here, and they've gone out with Gilbert.
Gilbert runs from the pocket, slips as he kicks. As a result, it's a Casino on the wing. Socked back by Geelong, chopped off by Ray. High ball to midfield, coming back well down there. Doing brilliantly was Joel Corey. He was tackled strongly. He was outnumbered initially. It spills to Montagna. Montagna kicks inside the forward 50. Despairing lunge at the football by Kozetski. Oh, gee, look at the bodies go in. Milburn and Kozetski on a collision course. Selwood with a teammate Ling. Squirts out behind, picked up by Del Santo. Hand pass from Del Santo came across to Goddard. He in turn hand passes to Schneider. Schneider slaps it inside the 50. Gathered by Mill down towards full forward. Revolt attracts a crowd. They came from everywhere. He was skittled. Barco a hand pass to Taylor. Taylor kicks it towards Selwood. Disted away down there by Del Santo.
Centre half forward for St Kilda. Ablett. Grab ball, says the crowd in your boot, says the umpire. Here's Joel Corey. Out and over there is Travis Barco. Barco's got it on the right wing of the Great Southern Stand side. This could be the moment. Hand pass to Chapman. Not a good alternative. Raph Clark right on Chapman's hammer. Kicked up the ground. Out of play on the full. Out of play on the full by Barco. Goodness gracious me. Tiredness makes cowards of us all, but that wasn't a good decision. The ball came out to Goddard. Centre half back at the punt road end. Kicked a long ball to jet ski. Ottens goes up. Ottens nearly took a mark. Play onto the umpire. It's tough. It's rugged. This is a last man standing effort of who wants this grand final the most. St Kilda lead by 2 points on the TAC scoreboard.
Every contest, St Kilda are getting more numbers to the ball. They're the ones that are being able to get the third, fourth and fifth guys over. It's just looking to me like Geelong are going to have to pull out something special.
Joel Corey bounces one up towards the wing. Burns accelerates away. Goes looking for Mooney. Mooney dropped the mark, uncontested. Goes after the football, can't get there in time. Graham, play on the ball, left it behind. Mooney made amends, slapped it across to Chapman. He gives it to Rook, and Rook on the goal line by Baker, who succeeded in clattering into the post, having touched the football.
Straight back to his feet too. He is just a little truck.
He might have broken his arm there. He's holding his arm like something's awry.
The goalpost stayed up.
So Goddard, St Kilda lead by a point. There's just 5.5 minutes to go, and Goddard kicked it out. Revolt went right over the top. It went to Harry Taylor. Hand pass to Chapman. 55 out. Kicks it to Selwood, who marks it. 47 1/3 metres out on the left half forward flank. A 45-degree angle, and Selwood can put Geelong in front with the 5-minute warning imminent.
Oh, no.
Oh, gee. Well, it's a massive contest, hasn't it? Some of the offensive pressure or forward pressure, both sides, especially Geelong in this last quarter.
Selwood through 50 to 47. He has missed it behind the stick. And scores are level. Scores are level. Geelong go to 10-7-67. St Kilda 9-13-67. And that's on the TAC scoreboard.
Double agent on the phone back in the studio. Del Santo to himself, kicks it up towards the wing. Big pack, falls in front. McWalter gave it across to Montagna, kicks towards half forward. Kazetsky couldn't take the mark. Twirling after the football scarlet, the man who did the spoiling. Joel Corey, he's been wonderful. Hand passes towards some support. Down goes Schneider. In goes Bartel, and the umpire, I think, will be forced to ball it up. Joel Corey for Europe car, Bondi.
Fantastic afternoon. 12 kicks, 16 hand passes, 28 disposals, 8 of those contested.
MVJ back on the ground. He's done nothing all day. This is his time.
Throwing up, offhand, Selwood. Slips a hand pass away. Didn't look. Montagna smothered off the boot of Hayes. Brilliant by Mackey. Follows up his own good work. Careless hand pass. Intended for Rook. Paddles the ball into the path of Ablett. He's tackled and the ball jarred across the boundary line.
This is going to take one team here to run with the ball, to carry the ball.
I don't think they can. The one most likely to do it.
They can't chase.
67 apiece then on the TAC scoreboard.
The ball now spinning back into play. Spinning, knocked out by King. Went to Clinton Jones. Here comes Goddard. Tapped it out in front of Ablett. And the ball over the boundary line and out of bounds right in front of Scott Cummings for Payne away.
I'm just watching Joey Montagna just walking past me now. This guy is absolutely spent. He's worked his backside off all day. Every one of these boys buggered.
Into the 23rd minute of play in a classic grand final. It was knocked away by King. Here comes Milne. Got it up to Clinton Jones. He's got no right foot, and his long left foot went close to Harry Taylor on the boundary line. And Harry Taylor has marked it. Harry Taylor now got it on to Corey Enright, and Enright looked as if he'd been gone for all money. The ball in the centre of the ground towards Stevie J. Johnson's marked it.
Out.
Now Ablett's out in the centre of the ground. Ablett marks it. It goes up. Coming through Dawson. But up there by Scarlett. He kicked it to Ablett. He Ablett to Mooney. Down towards Rook. Mooney, Rook, Varco, Chapman, goal! Geelong are in front. With some of the most magnificent, courageous, determined football in the history of the game. Scarlett rose to the top and put his life on the line and get the ball to Ablett, who kicked it long. The confrontation was absolutely enormous. The ball spilled to Chapman, who kicked his third. And Geelong are in front points.
What a contest in the stand. Varco outstanding to Crum to get the handball off and put a block on. Chapman, everything he's done's gone on the scoreboard. This is it.
What about the ingenuity of Scarlett, though, to kick the ball off the ground with a little touch to Ablett? Sensational.
Thrown up in the centre. In goes Ablett. The umpire will call for it.
Chapman kicked his third goal.
Wonderful.
Mooney has got 2, Hawkins 2, and for St Kilda, Snyder 2. They need a goal, St Kilda.
Mooney did wonderfully well to get to that last contest in the square as well. Joel Corey half volleys the ball out towards the boundary. Leading in the race is Mackey. He's been very good under pressure, knocks it across. The boundary throw it at the interchange gate.
There's a few interchanges, but the most important thing, there's a clock on the boundary line here that's showing each club how long there is to go, and it's 2 minutes 54.
Oh, plenty of time.
Keep telling us that, because the people around Australia denied after the boundary throw in. We'll have a ball up once again.
They should have no forwards now. The Cats, they should just put them all up on the ball and try and kill this game.
All right, get Shane down there and read it properly.
The rain has stopped. Wide of the pack, a chance for Baker. So good moments ago. Tries to paddle it across to Hayes, and Ling takes it out of bounds. Boundary throw in. Still at the gates.
They're just going to keep heading at the ball. You know that these Geelong midfielders are going to put their head over it. They're going to keep winning it. St Kilda need to get their hands in it. Quick kicks forward. They've got to take all the risks.
It was knocked out by Gardner, kicked away by Selwood and marked by Graham. The ball came out there towards Snyder. McQualter got it on. In trouble is Dempster. Beautiful tackle, Scarlett. It came through in Milburn over the boundary line and out of bounds. And Graham Bond has got the TAC clock, and it's ticking away.
Yes, I reckon we've got around about 2.5 minutes to go, Rex.
So the ball in the boundary umpire's hands, and he flings it back into play. Knocked out by Kajeski. Here comes Ablett. He collided with Enright. Stacks on the mill. This is what the prize is. 2 minutes to go. Who wants it the most? McBurney left it. It came out. Ablett kicked a long ball down towards Rook. Rook goes up, so too Burns. Got it off. Has got it. Left hand kicking towards centre half forward. It came out towards Varco. He can't get it. Rook off the ground. Rook now off the ground for a point.
Big point.
Off the ground for a point.
Great play.
And Geelong lead by 7 points.
Bloody what?
1 minute 40.
St Kilda need 2 goals to win.
Well, what a remarkable situation it is, and what a now tall mountain the Saints have to climb. On the outer side, Mackey, a hand pass to Chapman. Here comes Geelong again. Long ball down towards full forward, going back with wonderful courage, Gilbert.
I tell you what, Maxi Rook, sensational double contest to keep the ball, kick that point. Gee, he's been very influential today. Just his 1% has been magnificent.
Boundary throw in after a classical grand final. Bartell's got the football. Hand passes to Johnson. It's out again. Scotty.
Minute 22.
Minute 22 to go. It's down at the wrong end for the Saints. Throw in then. Hearts are beating. Geelong looking for their second premiership in 3 years. The Saints now trying to pull the spirit of 66 back to themselves here. They're under the pump, finding his way through Kelly. Kelly to the pocket. Despairing lunge at the football by 27. A famous number for the Saints. The man who got that last behind wore 27. That time Blake able only to get it out of bounds. Another throw in.
So the ball now spinning back into play. St Kilda need 2 scoring shots to draw. They need 2 goals to win. It is now 27 minutes and 48 seconds on the TAC scoreboard clock.
1 minute.
And it's Geelong leading by 7 points. The umpire has got the football. The crowd of 99,000 raw. Knocked out by Ottens. There's a free kick to St Kilda. They've got to go, and they've got to go now. Kaczynski gets it. Kicks it into the centre of the ground. Revolt's got to go up, and he doesn't. The ball came out there to Milne. Kicked it inside 50. Running in the race for the ball is Scarlett. Scarlett is there. He's going to concede the football behind the stick.
Scotty.
6 points the difference. The only chance is for St Kilda to turn it over.
39 seconds.
And kick a goal. So it's Milburn. stands erect in the goal square at the city end of the stadium. He's got it. He kicks it outside towards the members' half-back flank.
Taylor.
And going up Taylor. That is as significant as Leo Barry's mark.
Unbelievable.
Harold J.F. Taylor.
I'll tell you what, he's got to play it on. He's got to play it on,
He
Rex.
plays on now towards Ottens. Geelong are 6 points in front.
20 seconds.
There's no time left. 20. It went to Rockling. This is Rock. Rock goes up. He can't get it, but Burns did. Geelong are home, I think. Mooney kicks it to Rock and he marks it. Geelong are premiers. Geelong are going to be premiers. St Kilda, oh so close. Not much good winning every game. The siren has sounded. And Geelong have won one of the most memorable grand finals in history. We are Geelong, the greatest team of all. We are Geelong, we're always off the ball. We play the game as it should be played. And all war far away. The man is fly high from north to north. So Geelong have won the grand final, not by 6 points, by 12 points, because Rook, to the opened bloody wound, has poured salt on top of the wound and kicked an uncontested goal along the ground.
Now, Rex, sensational. I said to David King at three-quarter time, I thought they were gone. I thought St Kilda had all the upside. And I said to David King, if Geelong get across the line here, they are one of the greatest teams ever. And we both looked at each other and thought, well, they might do it. To get across there, they have to be classed as one of the greatest teams in the modern era. I look at the St Kilda players, they have been brilliant all year. What a game. We've seen the contest of these two sides during the year. That equalled it and probably doubled it, Kingy.
Oh, it was Mr. Unfashionable, Maxi Rook.
How good was he?
In the last quarter, he just kept make tests and kept having a go. And the harder he tried, the luckier he got. Chapman was inspirational. Everything he did went to the scoreboard. They just kept grinding away. It was ugly. It was unfashionable. It was typical Geelong. They just hung in. Well, they found a way when there wasn't a way to just stay in the game. And Taylor's mark, I don't think we can undersell that.
Unbelievable.
They were struggling all day to get the ball out of the defensive end. They kick long to a contest. He runs with the flight and takes an absolute ripper. And the Cats get over the line. It's an emotional moment for these guys, but you have to feel for the Saints. It was theirs. Yeah. It was theirs for the losing, and they got done.
Look at Mark Blake, Bucks. Just, he's had the disappointment being dropped, playing the losing one. Now he's finally a winner. Fantastic scenes.
You talked about ugly footy, Kingy, and that's exactly what it was. I mean, it was reduced. To me, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
that is the beautiful aspect of the game, because in the end, it comes down to man on man, team on team, who is going to want it more than the others. Now, when you've already been there, and you said this, Shrewy, when you've already been there, done that, you'd think that maybe the hunger's a little bit capped. But Geelong showed today that their hunger's as keen today as it ever has been. 2 premierships in 3 years, 3 grand finals, definitely the greatest team of all. And as you said, Max Rook, Paul Chapman, Joel Corey, the hard bodies, and they were prepared to do the ugly thing.
They knew how to win, didn't they? The game was in the balance and was played in front of us here for what felt like 5 minutes. It was only probably 2, but they ran the ball across the line when they had to. They killed the plays when they had to.
One of the great things is going to happen now. In around about 5 minutes, Bob, the Geelong Flyer Davis, will present Mark Thompson and of course Tom Harley with the 2009 Premiership Cup. This has been one of the great grand finals. This greatness, the word great is used too often, but these are the 2 best sides in the competition this year. And that classic they played halfway through the year in round 14 has been eclipsed by the greatest game of the season.
I've just seen an action that describes Geelong absolutely. Matthew Stokes has missed the grand final. He's been the one who's played a majority of games, didn't make it. He came running onto the ground. I don't know why he's been there a bit later than the rest of his teammates. He came running on the ground. He's jumped into Joel Corey's arms. He's jumped into a couple of other players' arms. He's so wrapped for them. He's not thinking of himself. He's thinking of his team. He's thinking of his club. And you can't actually have this sort of team success unless you have that sort of a focus and motivation. And that probably epitomises what Geelong's all about.
What St Kilda have to do, and it's hard now, as they're walking past, they have to suffer what Geelong suffered last year. To win, you must lose. To enjoy the euphoria of great success, you have to taste the bitter pill. St Kilda must swallow right here and now and go to the summer and say, we'll go one better next year, because Geelong did that.
Exactly right, Rex. You have to harness this emotion. It has to eat at you. It has to burn. Everything you do for the next 6 months has to reflect back to this moment. It has to hurt you as a person. It has to hurt you as a club. It was there today. You'll never get that chance again in 2009. That's done. You now have to act for 2010 and beyond. They stopped to a walk. In the last half, they've kicked 2 goals, 3 points in the last quarter. It was theirs when we thought they were going to overrun them. That's what must drive them now going forward. They're gutted. They are gutted, the Saints. They are still not sure what to do, not sure where to look.
Oh, they look back, don't they, Kingy? Oh, you look back to that first quarter. I thought they dominated. So, they missed goals in the third. 3 set shots a goal, which really, you've got to take your chances. They'll rue that, but they'll be strong enough to get through this.
I just saw, like Buck saw a lovely moment. I just saw Bob Davis with Tom Hawkins and Cameron Moody and Gareth Andrews, all great Geelong people. And Bob Davis, he doesn't walk, he hobbles. The Geelong Fly was just an institution down there as a player, and together with Jack Dyer and Lou Richards, pioneered ex-player media. And Bob Davis now will make his way to the centre half forward position at the city end of the stadium, as those beautiful little kids in their Geelong outfits will be presenting Geelong with the premiership medallions of 2009. Geelong are the champions in front of 99,251. Geelong have won by 12 points.
When they couldn't find a way, Bondi, you spoke about no side in the history of the game having lost 3 quarters of football coming back and winning, and that's exactly what they did.
I'm just looking at Cam Mooney now. He's gone through. He's standing with the St Kilda players. He's been through the celebration before, but he has gone and shook every hand of St Kilda players to say, we've been there ourselves last year. I tell you, Cam Mooney, he's a funny character. He's a great competitor at times. You get the worst of him, but he knows his position all the time, and he's showing a lot of, I just look, very humble man at times also. To go over there and just, make sure that these blokes know and just give them commiserations about where they've been in this situation. It's so hard, but gee, it'll lead away at the Saints.
Another wonderful moment as Gareth Andrews just took a moment in time with Bob Davis. And let me tell you, Gareth had to leave Geelong in 1974 with a swap for another player from a premiership side whose name escapes me. And Gareth went to Richmond and just learned what premierships mean. Gareth Andrews got up on Wednesday night at the premiership reunion and spoke of his love for Richmond, but his expression of love for this club to have the most success it possibly can just came down to that moment with Bobby Davis. Fair dinkum, it was unbelievable.
You have to take your hat off as well, boys, to the conditioning staff of the Cats. Just when we thought they were out on their feet, we had question marks over Johnson, we had question marks over Chapman, we had Ottens was a doubt, and they just found, I know they've got big hearts, I know they've got a steely resolve and a desire to win, but just the physical capabilities that they're able to physically do what they've done. I'm just in awe of this outfit, and I think most people at this stadium. No one's moved, Rex. No one's moved. The crowd, it's still here. They're loving it.
Let me ask Nathan Buckley. We haven't got you after next year, and we're going to talk to you officially as a Collingwood assistant and then a Collingwood coach. The result is there for everyone to see, but is there a hard luck story for St Kilda or not?
Oh, absolutely. And they'll be feeling sorry for themselves at the moment, and they'll go back and they'll review the game. They'll have a look at Milne. They'll have a look at Snyder. They'll have a look at McWalter. They'll have a look at the mistakes of Clark, of Dawson, when Hawkins smothered it and when they had their chances. And in the end, big games go back to those moments, and they weren't able to capitalise when they had their opportunities. They weren't able to take advantage on the scoreboard in the first half, and they went inside 50 35 times and only scored 7 goals.
Okay, well, we're going to start proceedings as Nick Revolt comes up to receive the runner-up trophy for St Kilda, and Graham for Europe Car is going to read out a few stats as the players come up.
To Geelong, you're a great team. You put in a great performance today, so well done. To our boys, just remember how much this hurts. Bottle it and use it to motivate you. To all our supporters, it's been a long time, and we gave it our best this year and today. You should be proud of your players. We'll be back. We'll give it our best again next year. Thank you.
Well done.
He wasn't at his brilliant best today, Graham, but he can hold his head high.
Thank you, Nick. Have a good break, and we look forward to seeing you leading the Saints back in 2010. And now let's welcome to the podium former Hawthorn Premiership player and winner of the 1991 Norm Smith Medal, Paul Deere, to present the Norm Smith Medal to the player adjudged the best of field in the 2009 Grand Final.
So what are our thoughts, gentlemen?
Oh, gee, there's been a
Norm Smith Medal winner is Paul Chapman, Geelong.
3 goals.
The Brick Scheissenhausen has got it.
He kicked his 3 goals, Rex.
Yep. When the game had to be won.
26 possessions, I think he had also.
It was Paul Chapman. What are you doing, Bondi?
No, he was my selection before the game. So absolutely,
but your selection during the game was Lenny Hayes.
8 inside 50s, 8 scoring involvements, 3 goals, 2, 26 disposals, 9 contested possessions. Everything he did was gold.
Here's Paul Chapman, the Brick Scheissenhausen.
First of all, I'd like to thank St Kilda for a great game. They're a very proud club, and look, we were in that spot last year and we've bounced back, and I'm sure they will too. To our boys, well done, boys. We've, people have counted us out all year and we've bounced back, and we really deserve this. Well done. To all the supporters who came, thanks a lot for coming, and I hope you enjoy the win.
Paul Chapman.
An understatement.
He's,
Thank you, Paul Deere, and well done to Paul Chapman.
He puts his own dislocated finger
young footballer's dream to be on this grand final dais on the last Saturday in September.
And a good
we now welcome 22 participants from the NAB AFL Auskick program to present the medallions to the players of the Geelong Football Club. We begin with number 3, Jimmy Bartell.
Well, Gary Ablett follows up another Brownlow medalist who played in a premiership 2 years ago. He's got his second medallion, the number 3, 12 kicks, 7 hand passes, 19 great disposals.
Number 4, Andrew Mackie.
Great start early across the half-back line. Finished the day with 15 possessions. 9 of those were contested, 3 clearances.
Great to see these.
Number 5, Travis Varco.
Travis Varco, probably not one of his best games, but he had in their last 2 goals, the 2 of the most important ones in that last quarter. Picked up 13 disposals, 5 of those contested.
Talking about the kids, Rex.
Number 6,
all over Australia.
Brad Otten.
Played in the Auskick for the NAB Auskick and was selected through that to play the game at halftime, and now give the medals to the premiership winning team.
Fantastic ruck work today by Ottens. He came in, only played a handful of games this year, but his 12 disposals and 6 clearances were important this afternoon. Came back.
Number 7, Harry Taylor.
Had the job on Nick Rewalt. Rewalt didn't dominate it. Harry run into the ground today, but did his bit for his side. 14 possessions, 8 contested and 5 marks, 1.
Number 9, James Kelly.
Cross half back, a very good game today for Kelly. 8 kicks and 10 hand passes, 18 disposals for the day.
So James Kelly comes in and gets his...
Number 11, Joel Corey.
Couldn't have been too far away from Chapman today as far as the medalist. 29 disposals, 5 clearances, 8 contested ball. He had 13 kicks and 16 handball.
Number 14, Joel Selwood.
Just 3 seasons in AFL football for 3 grand finals and 2 premierships. It doesn't get any better than that for this rising star of a couple of years ago. 24 disposals and a couple of great...
Number 17, Shannon Burns.
Got his chance today. Fantastic small man, great opportunist, runs hard, runs well, kicked a goal and had 16 disposals.
Number 20, Steve Johnson.
Well, the Norm Smith medalist of 2 years ago, he came in with that hip injury. No one thought he was going to play today. Had an impact after half-time, finished with 9 disposals, but he's still been there and been part of it.
Number 21, Cameron Mooney.
Well, his 3rd premiership medallion after 1 with North Melbourne and now 2 with Geelong. A tremendous game today. 2 goals, 1, 5 marks and 10 possessions.
Number 24, Mark Blake.
The unlucky, the hard luck story of 2007. He played last year. He's finally going to get his premiership medallion. The big ruckman, 9 disposals and 3 contested balls and 3 clearances.
Number 26, Tom Hawkins.
Star of the future today. He had his kicking boots on. Isn't he happy? 2 goals from 2 marks and 8 disposals.
Number 29, and the Brownlow medalist, Gary Avlis.
He missed the opportunity this afternoon of doing his lap of honour. He'll get his chance right now after another great game from Gaza. 25 disposals.
Number 30, Matthew Scarlett.
Undoubtedly the best fullback in the competition. He showed it again today with 15 possessions.
Number 33, Max Rook.
Terrific afternoon for Max Rook. Started the day well, finished the day well with a goal. Kicked the first goal and the last goal of the game. 11-5.
Paul Chapman.
The Norm Smith medalist, another great performance by Chappie. Also came into the game with limited time over the last month. 26 possessions, 8 inside 50s, 8 scoring involvements and 3 goals too.
Number 39, Darren Milburn.
Oldest player on the field, the veteran. He could have gone in at half-time. Looked at himself after giving away that goal right on the siren. But he's come away with his head held high with 25 courageous disposals.
Number 40, David Wojcicki.
Big impact in that final last quarter. 13 possessions, 5 contested balls today for Wojcicki.
Number 44, Corey Enright.
The number 44 had 11 kicks, 11 hand passes, 11 contested possessions for a total of 22 disposals.
Number 45, Cameron Ling.
For the second year in a row, voted the sexiest man in the AFL. 16 disposals today with a great roll by Cameron Ling.
He do something for you, Kingy?
Not often, mate.
And I'm making a comeback if he's the sexiest man in AFL.
And now, the captain, number 2, Tom Harley.
5 disposals today for the skipper, but he put in a great performance in defence.
And all that's left to remain is for Bomber Thompson, the man they were going to sack 3 years ago, to come up and join Harley and be presented with the Premiership Cup.
Would you now please welcome Australian Football Hall of Fame legend and Premiership coach John Nichols to present the Jock McHale Medal to the coach of the 2009 Toyota AFL Premiership team, Mark Thompson of Geelong.
So Big Nick rises onto the podium. Mark Thompson greets the big fellow, and the medallion goes across the top of his neck. Tom Harley just acknowledges Big Nick, and here's Mark Thompson.
First of all, to the St Kilda Footy Club. Life's footy sucks sometimes, and you guys have had a fantastic year. You've done so much right, and you're one of the hardest teams to play against. Unfortunate win today, but we were very, very lucky. What we played with you guys. To the AFL, all their wonderful sponsors. Our sponsor Ford has been an amazing sponsor because it's a great event. So well done to everybody who's turned up. I'd like to say it's a huge week, and to come out victors is just an amazing, surreal feeling. We're very, very lucky to win today, but we'll take it. I'd just like to say thank you to all my staff, everybody at the club. It takes a lot of effort to get where we are. We've done well, and thank you to everybody.
What a wonderful speech. And now this is the moment as Bob Davis will prepare to come up after we hear from Tom Harley.
I'd also like to thank the St Kilda Football Club. A fantastic season. I'm sure you'll bounce back. You played the right way. Very envious of you as a club, and put out a fantastic performance today. To the AFL and all their sponsors, obviously all our major sponsors as well. An event like this can't be put on with all of the support, so thank you very much. To all our supporters, just fill the club with so much pride, support us so passionately. Thank you very much for coming out today. Really got us over the line. It was fantastic. To everyone at the club, from the board down to the boot studders, I don't usually like to sort of single out some people, but I'd really like to thank Matty Egan for being such a great club man. Stokesy and Joshy for missing out today, but it was a real everyone who's represented the club in a football year. The boys, 2 out of 3, a pretty good effort. And get up, let's join the cuff, eh? Let's go.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
forgot to present the
we have much pleasure in inviting the 1951 and 1952 Geelong Premiership player and coach of the 1963 team, Bob Davis, to present the AFL Premiership Cup.
And this is sending him unbelievable, Craig. There's Bob Davis with these youngsters.
Well done, Bobby.
Yeah, good.
Like a lion, the king of the jungle, with the cure going to the next generation. Bobby Davis is smothered in pulp. Absolutely said, it's hailed, it's rained, it's blown. Now, you wouldn't believe it. Fairningham, unbelievable, it's snowing.
Is Bobby meant to present it and get off, Rex? Because he's thick amongst hanging on to it.
I tell you what, that is one of the greatest images of this grand final by far.
Every person that presents the Premiership Cup from now on is going to want to hang around and get involved in the photos. That was huge for Bobby.
This has been one of the great grand finals. You get a bit carried away with the moment. But as I said in my editorial, this time we're playing to win. And it certainly was Geelong who trailed by 2 points at quarter time. who trailed by 6 points at half-time, who trailed by 7 points at three-quarter time, and kicked 3 goals for to 3 points in the last quarter. And Geelong, in front of 99,251 people here today at the MCG in Melbourne, Australia. Geelong are premiers. They kicked 12-8-80 to St Kilda 9-14-68. This is after the game for Dilmar and Jersey boys. And you know what's coming. There's plenty more to come. We're on air till 7 o'clock. And now it's your turn. The people who make us turn up week in and week out because you love us and the others hate our guts. Give us a call on 96900 693. That's 96900 693. Outside of Melbourne, 131332. Geelong Premiers for 2009. 3AW is football.
I'm Leith Forrest. Join Chris McDermott and myself for the Sunday Roast. We will talk about the AFL Grand Final, get your thoughts on the big game, plus we'll preview the SANFL Finals and we'll talk all things sport. That's the Sunday Roast this Sunday from 10 a.m. on 1395 Adelaide's 5AA.
Size matters, especially in real estate. Greg Moulton of Brock Harcourts.
When you speak to Brock Harcourts about buying or selling a home or property, you're speaking to a global network of over 600 offices around the world. Harcourt